What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, dude?
I have to ask, how is my dog doing, man?
Not that good. Not too thrilled, to be honest with you.
Understandable.
It's weird. It's bittersweet coming off of a really nice game.
I didn't know.
One of the better games I think we played as a team.
I would agree.
Beat the Browns 28-14. Convincing manner.
I'm with you. You know, I'm testing the water before we put our feet in this thing, man. How have you been since yesterday? You know, obviously the game. Did you?
A lot of recovery.
A lot of recovery. I didn't get a chance to talk with you after the game. I know you looked, like you was going through it a little bit.
You got robbed, dude. Got robbed.
If you would, just what's going through your mind, baby? How you living right now, man?
I can't believe the refs made that bullshit horse collar call in the Dolphins-Jets game. Like, granted, I understand everyone saying, "Oh, Steelers, you got yourself in this position to be relying on other teams. Like, don't feel sorry for yourselves." And the Jets only put up 6 points. I would have just liked to seen it.
Had only put up 6 points.
I know that's my thinking. I'm like, I just would have liked to seen it play out how it should have. It clearly shouldn't have been a horse collar. Yeah. Jets get the ball back
and see where there's overtime.
See what Flacco could do.
Happens.
Exactly. Yeah. But for the Dolphins to be gifted 3 points, granted, they had to still make the field goal and everything.
Because he still was, 50? Yeah.
Combine that with us winning in a very good fashion, as I mentioned from the top, I think this is one of the better, if not the best games that we played as a team.
All 3 phases, man.
And it just so happens to come in Week 18, which, if we did make the playoffs, would be the week before the playoffs, which makes me think we're kind of peaking at the right time as a team. That's when you want to be peaking. That's when you want to be getting hot. At the end of the season, going into the playoffs. So for us to not have that chance, it's disappointing.
Yeah.
We're robbed of it.
I definitely would agree with you. Usually Joe Flacco is elite, or at least that's what he likes to roll with. I have not checked out that game, but yeah, the fact that it was 6-6.
I had it on YouTube TV. We were trying to watch that as we had the main game going on, and it was a really frustrating game to watch.
Yeah, I didn't even want to play that game of let me look over there, so I literally just focused Steelers only. Wifey was giving me the updates on the Bills game, but I was like, nope, we all locked in. We need this dub. Let's get it. And yeah, to just see how everything you get the Bills. They're kind of going back and forth, but then they take care of business.
They lock it up.
We take care of business. And it literally comes down to the Dolphins and the Jets with 2 minutes left in the game, tied at 6. Like, bruh, what is going on?
And it played out how we probably would have predicted going in, or should have predicted.
Yep.
6-9.
Yep.
Or actually 6-11 because of the fluky thing that happened at the end.
Yeah.
But my God.
Yep. That was definitely a scenario, man. Definitely sucks, man. And obviously we'll tap into it a lot more. But yeah, man. Yeah, definitely a weird dynamic right now, man. Because like you said, man, we did accomplish a ton in that game yesterday, man, in all 3 phases. And from a season perspective as well. And we'll dive into all of that in a little bit. But, I just had to check on my dog, man. Make sure you was back. He was good. You were recovered. And
I'm recovered enough to be here.
And that's all that matters. You're recovered enough.
Yeah, luckily that game was at 1 o'clock. I don't know how I'd be right now if that game was an 8 o'clock game. Good thing that thing was at 1. I was able to drink a bunch of body armors and Gatorades throughout the night. I got liquid IV in this canteen right now.
Talk about the thing that's funny to me though is this though, because obviously me and you, we linked up. Was that Thursday or Friday morning? Friday morning we linked up, and even then, you're hydrated. You got the Powerade, and I'm like, Deke, what's going on, bro? It's super early. Like, you like, bro, I gotta get these electrolytes, but I gotta get back hydrated.
Yeah, I think I went out for the Thursday night games.
Yeah, man. So, it's just
no. There wasn't Thursday night. What happened?
I don't know
what
it
was.
Thursday? But whatever it was, when we got in there on Friday morning, you were definitely like, yo, I got to get my energy back. I got to get me hydrated.
I know exactly what happened on Thursday night. It was one of those scenarios where you accidentally wake up at like 2 a.m. And then you're thirsty. I had to grab a couple glasses of water. But then after you chug those ice cool glasses of water, you wake up a little too much, and then you can't get back to sleep.
Yep.
And this wasn't even like sometimes you're scrolling through your phone or you're on YouTube, whatever. You know you shouldn't be doing that because that's keeping you up. No, this was me deliberately trying to sleep, like trying to listen to podcasts, whatever. I think I might have had The Office on in the background. Like that's my remedy is I need to get to sleep. And I was not falling asleep.
Jeez.
So yeah, that morning I remember now because I think I finally fell asleep at like 7 or 8. But then we were meeting at 10.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I didn't have that much of a night of sleep there.
Well, I am at least glad that you are here, you're recovered enough, and we can get this thing rolling. So what we're gonna do, we'll start off like we always do, man. Drop where you're tuning in from in the chats. We'll give you those big boy shoutouts to start the show, and I will also take this time to tell you that today's show is brought to you by True Classic Tees. Let's go. Y'all know the homies True Classic Tees, man. The shirt that is built for us, those guys that are kind of athletic, but maybe not all the way athletic, or the guys that, just need something to make them feel a little bit more athletic, baby. That's what you get when you talk about True Classic Tees.
Or just straight up comfortable tees.
Absolutely comfortable tees. I mean, because that's the thing with this, man. It is built to feel like you're just lounging around, but at the same time, have that athletic cut up top where most of us feel a little bit better, but at the same time, get a little bit more playroom in that midsection. But with True Classic Tees, they have more than just t-shirts. I mean, they got the long sleeves, they got the sweatpants, the joggers, the shorts, hoodies, all type of different loungewear stuff that just make you feel good, make you feel comfortable. And that's how it's supposed to be, because you got to look good and you got to feel good, more importantly. But of course, if we're talking about them, we got a promo code. And that promo code is Moats. You use that at trueclassictees.com. You get 25% off of your purchase. And it's free shipping if you have a purchase for over $100 as well. So make sure you check out True Classic Tees, because at the end of the day, we got to know it's a new year. So when it's a new year, it's a new me. And I got the new tee. Shout out to the homies at True Classic Tees for that as well, baby. And now with that being said, let's tap in. All right. So where we tuning in from today?
Stan Claire, he's always in the house. He says checking in from the 905, Toronto.
Let's get it.
Richard Arbizo, the 310, Carson, California.
Oh yeah, love that.
Saying, oh yeah, we do have our opponents for next year ready, because he goes on to say
Vegas, LA, yeah.
He says hoping we play at Vegas, LA, and hopefully Mexico City next year. Definitely we'll try to get to those games. Steel City Stoner. That Mexico City game would go crazy.
Oh, yeah, it would, bro.
Like, but literally, it would be 100% Steelers.
I thought they were redoing the stadiums down there, so it's not going to be anything in Mexico this year. I thought coming to be London and Germany.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if there is
whenever they do
Mexico City, and if it's the Steelers,
bro, it's going to be nice, man.
Like, it's literally going to be a home game.
I mean, dude, even now, like, I just think of some of the off-season stuff that we do with the Steelers, where they'll go and take a trip down to Mexico. And it is absolutely bonkers, bro. Like,
yeah, you see how it is.
It
just
is
even
bonkers,
on the west
bro.
coast of
like,
California, Arizona, Mexico City. I feel like they got mad Steeler fans down there.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. All right, let's see who else we got tuning in, man. I'm gonna tap in a couple of these, man. I got the homie Country Malik 48 tuning in from the 843 Charleston, South Carolina. Jar Devil, he tuning in from the 310 San Pedro, California. Then after that, Rod Dollar tuning in from the 330 Youngstown, Ohio. Share a line, baby. And then I'm going to pass it back after Mr. Malvo, tuning in from the 562 Long Beach, California, baby.
Joe Martinez is tuning in from his local Starbucks, says his wife kicked him out, took his dog, and has nothing left.
Well, what you do have is your phone, and you have this podcast. So we're going to get you through, baby. Roll with us. We got your back, baby. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
DJ Lundy, 757 Norfolk, Virginia.
Doug Crib, Norfolk in the house. Holla at us.
Damon Brown, the 478, Macon, Georgia in the building. Deke really looked like he needed a friend and a shoulder to cry on after the game. Shout out Trina.
Bro, you was down bad, man.
I really had nothing to say.
You was down bad, bro.
Usually you should be speaking when you're giving post-game reports. I didn't have much to say. I was just speechless. Surely speechless. And it goes back to a lot of what we were just talking about. Like, I actually felt really good about how the Steelers played. I really liked how Kenny looked, too.
I would agree.
Stats aren't going to show it because I think he only had like a 40-something% completion rating. But the way he looked, how confident he looked out there, the leadership, and he was just slinging the ball down the field, I think we got something there. DJ Lundy. No, wait. Did I already say him? 757?
I think so. But you can never shout out the 757 enough. It's all love. You know that.
I guess he wanted shouted out again. He made another comment. All right, I'll say two more. Chinks Bud, 215 Philadelphia. And then we got Donald Copeland giving a suggestion for the guy at Starbucks. Roll some weed in that Starbucks.
Roll up.
And then I'll say one more. Let me find a random one here. Asian Sensation, Riverside, California, the 951.
Tell me, what was the name?
Asian Sensation.
All right, shout out. Let's go.
All right, you ready for these super chats?
All right, let's tap in, baby. Hit that like button too on the front end of this thing. Subscribe if you have not done so either.
First one. AJ Martinez. God bless to all in the chat. Happy New Year, Matthew. So I missed the last podcast. Shout out to Official Momentum number 1. Trina, D. Brown, Barbarian, and Jacob.
Hey, respect to all the OGs and all the heavy hitters that are always with us whenever we tap in, man. So absolutely, man. Shout out to you, AJ, as well, man. Spreading that love around.
Also says Matthew blessings, Moats and Deke blessing. Let's go.
Salute.
Thank you. Hold on. Let me get up to date here.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. Google East. Just says mock draft season.
Coming soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's what happens when you're not in the playoffs.
Yep.
Steeler Nation on fire. F the Jets. I hope they never go to the playoffs. Agreed.
Hey, yo. That is funny, though, bro. But, I mean, I look at it like, yo, we really had to rely on the third quarterback, bro. Joe Flacco. Yikes.
It should have been enough against Skylar Thompson. It should have
Who
been enough.
do you think had the better team, though, if you take away the quarterbacks? Because the Dolphins are pretty stacked still, bro.
I feel like the Jets have the better defense. You're right, obviously, with the Dolphins and their weapons. I just feel like Skylar Thompson's that bad.
Why do you think the Jets have the better defense? Because, like, I know you think Sauce, but I look at Xavier Howard. I kind of think that Miami got I think their defense is a little bit further along at least. But yeah, Skylar Thompson
I'm just saying, yeah,
Flacco, that's got to be
Jets,
the one.
What the Jets defense...
That's got to be the one, bro.
Yeah, I guess this is my main
gotta
point.
be
What
it.
the Jets defense should have done against Skylar Thompson versus what the Dolphins defense should have done against Joe Flacco.
Crazy thing,
it's
did
drastic.
either team have a pick? I don't think either team had a turn. Hold on,
I don't know.
I really don't, because I know up until that point, it wasn't a turnover. And I was like, yo, how is this game happening with these two quarterbacks, with these defenses, and nobody has thrown the pick yet, bro?
You know what, though, too? Even though the Jets only scored 6, it could have been 9 if their field goal kicker just would have made.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was a little longer one. It wasn't like 40-something plus, or it might have been.
Yeah, but he had a chance, though.
Had a chance. Like, even right there, that could have made it go to overtime. Because an overtime tie would have benefited.
It still would have helped us. Yeah, absolutely.
It would have got us in.
Everything but a loss.
Next one is Kyle Munoz. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're good. Yep.
Tomlin officially can win without Ben, but still, #sabotage7.
I mean,
it's a great way to put it right there.
Yeah, but technically we already knew this. Remember, Ben was at that 18 season? No, 19 when he got hurt. So we had already seen that he could do this without him. But sabotage 7. We're keeping this. Does it still roll? Even though it's not, because he's not sabotage 8 anymore. I don't feel like we can say sabotage 8 right now, bro.
I don't think I ever really said that.
I don't either, but we did sabotage 10 for a little bit, though.
Why did we say sabotage 8? Who was bringing that up?
Well, it was just going with the numbers. Sabotage 7. Then when we got rid of Mitch, we sabotage 10. Then it was like Kenny was struggling for a little while. Sabotage 8.
Sabotage 10 is a fake story.
No, it happened. This is when it happened. And this is why we said it. When Kenny was throwing the picks and everybody was tripping out and it was like, yo, is he really good or is he a bust? Then they went to say, no, you know what? This is on Canada if you just get a better OC. And this was all prior to the bye week. So that's when it was like, all right, well, we're going to go sabotage 7. And then when we saying sabotage 8, that's when I threw in sabotage 10. So, yeah. But other than that, man, I don't think we can say, yeah, there ain't no sabotage 8, man. I think 8 looking good, man. And I think Canada's a big part of both of those guys being successful. Like, they're playing off of each other extremely well, man.
Agreed. Truly Regal. Sad Deke energy.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever had that label before. Sad Deke energy. Dang, man. I should have brought me one of them teddy bears from my daughter's room, man. It always helps her. Whenever my little lady sad, we get her like one of her little bears, and she just get there and hold it. And she started smiling. She'll feel better.
I don't need that.
I got a Bills one too. If you want a Bills one,
no,
just check it, man. You can't say it. Not this week, man. Come on, man. It can't be this week. Come on, man. We getting positive news out of Buffalo. Shout out to Mark Hamlin. He official news. He was released from Cincinnati,
He's back home.
and now he's back in Buffalo, man, recovering. They said he's been walking with assistance and stuff like that, but they're saying that, you know, all the reports are extremely positive with that, man. So super elated that he's back, you know, at the crib, and that his recovery is going well, man.
FaceTime and Meek Mill.
Shout out to Meek and Rick Rubin, or excuse me, Michael Rubin, excuse me, there we go, Michael Rubin and Meek Mill.
Fanatics,
correct, right? Yes, yeah. So man, you know, seeing DeMar up there FaceTiming them, it definitely made us feel a lot better. So salute to all of that. But yeah, you definitely can't say anything negative about Buffalo for the rest of the year. You know that, bro. Come on now. Come on. It is that simple now, man. Green light game. Let's get it. I'm going to wear this Bills hat for just the rest of at least the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, can't say anything negative about them right now, bro. We just got to roll with it. Let's go. When the universe.
I'm not following that itinerary.
What?
No.
They're going through a tragedy still. They're recovering.
I think you could separate the two.
No, we cannot. No,
Wishing the best for DeMar Hamlin. All this.
No, we cannot.
The Bills are a separate entity.
They are one family. They all go hand in hand. So we can't support one without supporting the other. All right. So if we talk bad about this, we're talking bad about this too. Got to show it off.
I'm not going to be talking bad.
Yeah.
Trust me, I would be if the Steelers were playing the Bills this week. Well, definitely would be.
Sometimes the universe is just awesome, baby. Because the universe knew we ain't need that this week. We ain't need that type of energy in here, man.
We definitely needed it.
No, we did not.
I think it would have been a different story this week.
No, we did not need that energy or the energy that will follow post that week either, man.
I think you're just happy you're not squirming here. I don't know how you would have handled this week.
I think everything's great, bro.
It's different. We've had Steelers-Bills matchups in the regular season, but now this one.
Everything is great, bro.
Ooh, this would have been an interesting play out to this week.
Everything is great. I woke up this morning. I felt good. I was at peace.
Why, dude?
I was at peace.
Didn't make the playoffs, bro.
We won yesterday. It was a victory Monday. That always holds true. Coach Salmon, another winning season, held true. We can't talk about postseason and Super Bowls without the first prerequisite of winning. So I got that off my list. Bills won. Check mark. Good. The interview, San Antonio Holmes, pregame, fire, electric. Everybody that turned out, man, had a blast. So I was like, yo, I'm good. I'm good. And then I got a text about what time and what day the Bills game would be on. And I felt even good too. I was like, okay, this is perfect. And just knowing that I wasn't going to have any type of scheduling conflicts, any type of time conflicts where I have to watch one team play at this time, but I'm used to watching another team play at that. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt really good because I had that conflict on Sunday, remember? With both teams playing at 1 o'clock. It was just like, I don't like when they play at the same time. So now I don't have to worry about that. I was just at peace, bro.
Oh, you would have been able to watch one game.
No.
It would have been both Steelers.
Well, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Maybe next time.
I wanted that matchup.
You didn't. I
wanted that matchup.
How you gonna come in here and just start bringing that energy, Deke? Why you want to do that? Deke? It's all.
But the NFL refs robbed us.
Yeah, it is all beautiful, man. So we just gonna vibe out. We're gonna focus on these here Steelers, all right? Because it's still a victory Monday. I don't care what we talk about. It's still gonna be a victory Monday, all right? So we still gonna enjoy the dub. But yeah, man, just, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. If it's any consolation, I felt good about us too. How about that?
Who?
If we would have gotten to the postseason, I would have felt good about us too.
The Steelers, for sure.
But unfortunately, now we're never going to know. But just know they would have been my favorite coming out of this wild card weekend. And if whoever won this game, I was going to pick them to win the Super Bowl.
You're saying a lot of theys and thems and stuff. You'd be a little more specific.
What you mean? I'm on your team here, bro. I'm just saying I had it pegged that whoever was going to, if it was Steelers and Bills, whoever was going to win this matchup was going to go on to win the Super Bowl. So I would just keep that same energy, I guess. Okay? Because all I can do is be consistent in my life. That's all I can control. But you know me, though, bro. You know I was ready. I was with you. Still a nation, man. Like, whoever was coming out, I felt great about that scenario because of what we've been seeing down the stretch. Absolutely. It just wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be.
They're one of the hottest teams in the league right now.
God.
Here's what's frustrating to me. All the people that are like, oh, man, we put ourselves in so much of a hole, like, we didn't deserve the playoffs, this and that, blah, blah, like, just like the miserable mentality of just like, we shouldn't have made it anyway, like, this team screwed itself and all that. I get it, there's a truth in it because we did screw ourselves in the first half of the season. I just know for a fact, Lions fans aren't thinking about that about their team.
No.
They wanted to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
There was no thought about tanking drafts.
Mm-hmm.
This team don't deserve it. They would have lost.
Mm-hmm.
There's none of that.
No.
You just want to get into the playoffs. And the Lions, in the same way as the Steelers, were one of the
Mm-hmm.
hottest teams in the second half of the season.
Yep.
So like, I don't get what's going on here sometimes. There's just sometimes miserable people with the fan base.
No.
It's disappointing.
You said it
The fakes.
perfectly. Honestly, it is that simple. I think that some people are naturally pessimistic. Some people are naturally contrarian. Some people are naturally just miserable people. The one point that always sticks out to me that I will never change my stance on is when a team finishes, in this case, Coach Tomlin, finished 9-8. Just the simple fact of it being a winning season. When has that ever been considered a bad thing? But when you talk about those same miserable people, they're the same ones that are upset about the fact that we finished 9-8 and we weren't better than that, even though these were the same people that were pissed off saying that we shouldn't win any more games when we were sitting at 2-4 at one point in time.
Fire Tomlin.
Tank this, fire that, he's a bust, this and that. And it's like everything that they hollered and complained about in the first half of the season, which we also said was normal context, all of those things they were hollering and fussing about did change, did shift. And we started to see all of those things take place, not just the intangibles, but even the statistical part, even the wins and losses part, right? But it's like they pick and choose which context they want to respect, or they pick and choose which standard they want to hold, this team to. And we've already broke down that narrative of when people will bring up the standard as a standard as a negative context and try to say, well, hey, the standard is a Super Bowl, so you're not going to a Super Bowl, you fire everybody. Well, and we broke down that context as well. We said, hey, man, it's been over 100 seasons in the NFL, or football being played in the NFL, over 100 seasons. The teams with the most Super Bowl wins are 6, right? We got 6, New England has 6. Then from there, when you start talking teams
Unfortunately, Brady has 7.
Which is fine, but when we're talking about, think about how many seasons, once again, though. Over 100 seasons. 7, not even 10, 7. That's less than 10%. Think about it, right? Then on top of that, when we just say how many appearances, sure, Brady would probably have the most appearances then. I'm assuming, right? He'd be around 10, 11.
I shouldn't have brought up Brady. I don't want to talk about him.
All good either way, all good. But the context or the point I'm making is this, man. When we say the standard is a standard, it's not just this Super Bowl or bust thing, because let's be real, that's not a realistic thing if we're talking about the true context of it, right? Because people like to take that statement to the most literal sense. So let's really get literal with it. So if you're meaning to tell me that at best, over 100 plus years, the teams that have the most appearances in the Super Bowl are 15, but the teams that actually won the most were 6, and there's only one player that has 7, it's not a lot of teams that are going to Super Bowls back to back to back. So what are you trying to accomplish? What is the standard? The standard is winning football. Winning football. A physical brand of football, a respectable brand of football, a consistent brand of football that constantly keeps you in the conversation.
Yep.
And that has not shifted, wavered in any way, shape, or form.
And I feel like that's not going away these next 10 years from what we're seeing
but
with
we're not
Pickett.
done yet. But we're not done yet. But on top of that, we're talking about January 9th right now. And we just were eliminated from the postseason. And not by anything that we did on the back end. That's the other context with this thing, man. So when we talk about the people that want to focus on the negative, or they just treat and look at this season as a loss and everything is negative, man, let them people be negative with their own kind over there. Because those miserable people, man, they could just be like that together. But the people that really understand this context, the people that really understand perspective and aren't trying to just be negative for the sake of being negative, you will see that a lot was accomplished this season. It's a lot to be positive about when you talk about retrospectively looking on this year. And even when we're looking into the future, why we should be extremely optimistic as well. And that's before a draft. Oh, not to mention we got 2 first-round picks, right? 17th overall and 32nd overall. But, hey, we ain't tripping on that. And that's without a tank. We still got good money in terms of what we're going to be doing, potentially moving pieces around and re-signing, or going out and potentially getting a free agent. We have all these things already in place. We have the continuity. So it's like, man, if a person looks at this season and all they can focus on or all they get from this is negative, clearly they aren't the people that we're trying to attract. We're not trying to talk to them people. We're not trying to change y'all mind, because that's clearly a negative person. We don't rock with that, man. It's positive energy, because we see this stuff. You see the growth. And that's part of the reason why we're frustrated and why you're so upset about it, because it's like, dang, we know we could do even more. We just wanted to see what it would look like. and we don't get that chance. So that's the frustrating part. That's the feeling.
Pickens connection yesterday.
You see it, bro.
Bloom.
You see it, bro.
It was unreal.
You see it, and it still could be better.
Yeah.
That's the other part. But that's the thing to me. It's like, man, the frustrating thing is, man, we were hot as heck. 7-2 down the stretch, 4 in a row, man. It is hard to stack wins in this league. You look around the NFL, not a lot of teams stack wins. That's one of the things that we religiously preach here in Pittsburgh, man. You got to stack wins. You got to stack wins. We talk about separating the season into 4 quarters prior to it being 17 games. Now we know you got that extra one. But just saying you got to go 3-1 or 4-0 each quarter. And if you do that, man, we're going to be all right. And you look at how they were able to finish this thing, man, sweeping that thing. Come on, bro. 2 division opponents, multiple teams during that phase that were trying to either compete for postseason spots or trying to knock you off. Let's be real. Cleveland took great pride in knocking off Washington last week, and they want to do the exact same thing this week. So it's like, man, we see all this type of stuff, man. I don't see how we could look at this and have this negative vibe, this negative energy with it, man, because it's a lot of positivity with this, and it will be continuing going forward, at least from my perspective, baby.
To your point, too, about how hard it is to win in this league in general, you could go back in time, but also you could look right now. If you go back in time, think of the teams that we viewed as successes over the last 2 decades, last 20 years.
The
Russell Wilson Seahawks.
Talk about them.
Big Ben and the Steelers.
Talk about them.
Aaron Rodgers Packers.
Talk about them. The Patriots.
Drew Brees and the Saints.
Talk about them.
Outside of the Patriots, like all those teams, like we had 2 rings with Ben. Russell Wilson only has 1.
Speak on it.
Drew Brees 1. Aaron Rodgers 1. But
Speak
we would
on
consider all those franchises during that time successes. We like because they were always in the mix. They always had the chance. When it comes down to a do or die game in the playoff, stuff happens sometimes. For us specifically, a lot of injuries were happening. A lot of weird stuff with fumbles, like there was some stuff that was, hey man, in a 1-game scenario, it's football.
Yeah,
and this is gonna screw you. This is gonna give you a loss. Not every team wins. But then
also, and even just tapping into focus on that part specifically on the first half of the season, you're dealing with some of the injuries that we were having. You were dealing with some of the turnovers that we were having. But this is also not even a full year removed from Ben Roethlisberger. This was also not even a full year removed from Kevin Colbert. So once again, we're talking about switching between 2 different quarterbacks in a span of 8 games. And people were ready to write the Steelers 2022 season in stone off of 6 freaking games, bruh, which is crazy. And I feel like they're kind of embarrassed because of how everything shifted, because of all the people that wanted it to be this negative, just doom and gloom. Everything fell apart. Everybody sucks. I told y'all this was that. I told you he wasn't that, and this and so forth and so forth. And because they didn't get that chance to write that eulogy, now they trying to come back and hit us with the, well, see, yeah, that's why we ain't in the playoffs, though. See, we ain't get that part. We ain't going to Super Bowl. Standards. It's like, bro, chill. Y'all tripping. Because all of that context matters, and that was the difference first half versus second half. The close games that we were losing, it was because we were learning. We were growing. We were getting healthy. Canada, he was growing. He was learning. You could definitely point to the difference between first half of the season with Matt Canada and these calls, second half of the season, Matt Canada and these calls. We could talk about first half of the season, scheme in terms of guys being open, versus second half of the season, scheme guys being open, and now we're connecting. Talk about first half of the season, some of the turnovers. Second half of the season, not a lot of turnovers. Defensively first half, not as many turnovers. We knew we had that first game. We had that crazy amount. But after that, we did take a little bit of a lull. But then to come back in that second half and all the turnovers that we were able to accumulate, it's like, man, everything that we wanted and that we were so frustrated about not having in those first 6 games, if you really look at it in this second half of the season, we checked off all of those boxes. And that's something I was like, I can't have a negative mindset about this squad if that's what took place 1 year, the first year. After 2 massive changes. Like, for me, I think it hits a little bit different because I've been a part of organizations where we've had those type of changes, and I understand how long it takes for you to recover when you switch GMs, when you switch quarterbacks. Seen that multiple times. It does not work out like how it did this year, man. This is a rarity. But you would have to understand that and have that type of experience, and not everybody in Steel Nation does, and rightfully so. But this is a positive situation we're in.
Miles
right
Jack
now,
was talking about it. He
I'm
came from the Jaguars.
He can attest to it. Yep.
I think his quote, he said it before this game.
He could definitely
when we were
attest to it.
2-6 going into the bye, like no one blinked. It was just like we're gonna keep doing our best.
Whereas in Jacksonville, I'm sure it was blinking. In Buffalo, when we were sitting there like that, we got the blinking a lot, Deke. A lot of blinking going on.
Dude, but even outside of how I was talking about retrospectively how hard it is to win the league, think of the teams right now that everyone views as success or standard.
Let's talk about it.
Not to throw shade, but the Bills.
Talk about it. Yeah.
They don't have a ring just yet.
They don't.
The Chiefs, with Mahomes and everything, being to all these AFC championships, they only have one.
Let's talk about it.
The Rams just last year with Sean McVay, who I considered the best coach coming into this season, best coach in the league. What'd they just go, 5 and something? Because injuries happen. Stuff. Like, I'm not saying that was all on McVay,
but let's also.
It's just hard to win in this league.
And even with this, I would even take it a step further. Even with McVay, we think about how when he first came in and he won the Super Bowl, people crowned him and said that he was going to be able to replicate or even do more than what we seen Coach Tomlin do in terms of just the consistent winning. And we've already seen. As much as people like to turn their nose up at that statistic about Coach Tomlin never having to lose a season.
McVay's talking about retiring.
Exactly.
I don't know how long it's going to be, but just to get a break.
Exactly.
Because how exhausted he is.
But that's the frustrating part when it's like you try to, or not you, but people will try to harp on that as a negative. And it's like, bro, you can't even guarantee that with the hot coaches. Remember, people swore by Pete Carroll as well as the time they said he was going to be better than Coach Tomlin. We've seen that even with him now, he's gotten it back a little bit better with Geno right now. But even his situation hasn't been the smoothest or the most successful. Sean Payton, we've already broke that down multiple times. Every coach that people try to bring up as if there is better, as if we have an issue coaching-wise. And that's the thing. We're not saying that there's nothing better, but to say that there is an issue that warrants a change, that's the type of stuff that is very frustrating because the people that have been brought up continually throughout the years with time prove that they are not on Coach Tomlin's level. They prove that. Everybody has injuries. Like you said, D. Everybody goes through changes organizationally with staff. Everybody goes through changes with personnel. But can you sustain winning? Can you do it? Did Coach T not have a Ben Mason Duck season as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And he still was able to maintain relevancy. Even in that season, going into the last game again. So, it is what it is, though.
Steeler Nation on fire. Mark said, F this, I'm going for the QB. Huh?
Mark.
Who's Mark?
Mark Robinson, maybe? Oh, I know he's talking about. Yeah, so he was in coverage. Yeah, the play where they dumped it off to, I think it was either Kareem Hunt or Chubb. It was like early in the game too. Yeah, it was just young. And this is one of those games for Mark where when we talk about the youth, when we talk about why you can't just crown a guy for one performance and why they have to continue to grow, this is why. He still has some positive plays out there, but he also had a couple of plays that he's going to look at and say, man, I got to be better here, or I can do a better job here. That's just a part of experience. But the one thing I'll say is, man, I like aggressive mistakes. And I get why he went for the quarterback, because initially it did appear that, I believe it was Kareem Hunt, it looked like he was going to block inside the line of scrimmage. And as a linebacker, especially in Pittsburgh, we're taught to hug rush. So if I got you one-on-one coverage, Spillane, he's one of the guys who does it. Vince Williams really weaponized it here for us, him and Law Dog Timmons, where if you got this guy in coverage, don't wait and let him know that you have him in coverage, because he's a better athlete. He's going to run faster than me. He knows where he's going. It's a lot harder on us to cover those guys. But the flip side is, it's a lot harder on them to block us. So force the action. He can't release if you're rushing. So for Mark, he read it as, this guy is potentially going in the block. Let me go fire right now and trigger. And it just so happened that he was actually trying to get released out and just kind of got muddled up in there. The one thing I would just say for Mark is, man, whenever you're going on a hug rush, go with your man. You take your man to the quarterback. You can't just leave your guy and go to the quarterback. Meaning bull rush. 2 hands on this guy, unless you're close enough where I can put a move on him and successfully get there. That's the coaching point with it. And Coach Flores, man, he's definitely going to get him up on that. That's an easy fix.
Maybe not.
Oh, what's happening here? He's gone? Or
we don't know? You didn't hear?
I've been unplugged, bro. Like, I took the morning off. So this is the thing. Last night, man, I was kind of conflicted because, like I said, I was super excited and positive about the game's performance. But at the same time, I was still kind of down because it's like, dang, I wanted us to go to the playoffs. But then I was like, man, at least for me personally, I don't have to deal with the conflicted week of, man, Bills, Steelers matchup postseason. So I was kind of like, bro, I was really like in a good zone. Like, I don't want either of them squads to not be in the postseason, but it kind of worked out where it wasn't by either of their doing. Like, it couldn't have been Jets win, Bills lose, because now y'all looking at me sideways over here when we talking about the Bills not winning. I was like, it can't be that. It couldn't be that. All right. So when the Bills won, I said, okay, good. I'm off the hook. Jets, all right, man. That's on Flacco. We can definitely get on Flacco. You know, Flacco's my favorite quarterback anyways, because I get all my sacks on him. College, professionally, and professionally, you know? Like, we just do that. All my first Monday night, Flacco. First collegiate, Flacco. First NFL, Flacco. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, that's my dude. But it couldn't be a Buffalo thing. So I really was in a good space. So with that being the case, kind of stayed up a little later than I was supposed to last night, researching, partying, enjoying my life. So I took the morning off, Deke. So I am not hip to anything. When you text me Cliff Kingsbury got fired, I had no clue. And then I was like, oh, let me go see who else got fired. And then when I saw it was Steve Keim as well, I didn't even see the Levy. I saw Steve Keim, the GM. I was like, oh, man, they changing the whole thing up over there. But then after that, I had to go back and play catch up. So I got back off. So, yeah, who else got fired? You said Lovie Smith got, or we'll get to that when we go around the league.
Sure.
Yeah, around the league, we'll get to
that.
Yeah,
a lot of news has happened.
But what happened with Flores then? Because I feel like that's something that's pertinent now, or is that around the league time? Like, I feel like it's
Steelers.
now. I feel like it's now. Let's talk about it, man. What's going on?
You brought him off thinking, oh, he's just going to take care of this linebacker room. He's going to teach up Robinson in the offseason.
What happened, bro? What did I miss today?
Got an interview with the Browns teed up for DC.
Respectable. I could understand why they would do it. You want to try.
The request was granted by the Steelers.
Yeah, because it's an upgrade. Like, technically, he's not our defensive coordinator. So for us to hinder him from a coordinator position, I think that will put us in violation of the Rooney Rule also. Because if you have a minority candidate that is trying to interview or getting requests to get interviewed for a coordinator position, head coaching position, or front office position, I want to say unless you're in the postseason right now, you can't tell them no. You have to give them that opportunity because it's not a lateral move. It's an upgrade. And technically he's our linebackers coach, not our DC since Terrell Austin is. So that's why they had to. And I get why Cleveland would. I mean, let's be real. He's a heck of a coach. We know that he's capable of being a head coach. We seen the impact right here on what he did with all four of our linebackers that we used. So it's like, I get it. I'm hoping that he'll go over there and see, hey, man, this is cool for my, to put up there that interview with you guys. But this situation, it could be better than what I got here in Pittsburgh, bro.
Let's hope.
But we'll see, man. Like, and what I mean by situation, I'm talking more specifically probably like money-wise. Because I don't think of Cleveland as a better opportunity for him. But if he's looking at trying to get back to the head coaching spot, sometimes the title matters. In the sense of, hey, me being viewed as defensive coordinator, it just is it means more than position coach. So I don't know how they'll work that dynamic out. And that's something that we'll see, what Steelers do. Because obviously they've done the approach of changing titles around or just paying guys more to keep them. We did that with Keith Butler here for a while when Dick LeBeau was there because we wanted him to be our DC. But at the same time, Dick LeBeau was the DC. So it could be a scenario like that. We'll see how it plays out. But it doesn't surprise me. And if you're Cleveland, I mean, why wouldn't you want to take him? He's a guy that would instantly make your defense. That would be 2 wins
for them.
Absolutely. You're weakening us and strengthening your staff. Absolutely, with the guy who's very familiar with us because he spent all year with us. Absolutely. And if I'm Cleveland, I'm over here like, bro, how much you want? But if you're Flores, that's the part where you got to view situation because Cleveland's situation, how much different is that from that Miami situation? Okay,
right? Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the part where I'm thinking like, yes, title would make sense, but is that the best opportunity for you? Or do you sit here for another year and now something else opens up a little bit bigger, a little bit better? Or who knows? Maybe we make a switch in-house. We don't know because we'll have to see how everything continues to progress. But that's some of the stuff that you have to consider.
Yeah, just a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he'll be up for other jobs as well because I think there were interest coming out, or at least there were rumors about the Broncos inquiring about him. Broncos apparently are interviewing everyone.
Everybody,
right now.
Sean Payton, Harbaugh. Rightfully so, though, because, I mean, they got it wrong. They went out to Hackett. They thought that he was the guy, and you didn't even get a full 17 games.
I think that got him to try to lure Rodgers, right? That was the main thing.
I don't know. I thought that they got him.
It had to have been the reason.
I thought that he was one of those byproducts of, like, when a player is just attached to a guy, and they're like, hey, man, he was great, so that means this guy has to be great. Yeah.
And that's what happened. They didn't get Rodgers, so it's like, okay, I guess we got to stick with this guy.
Yeah.
Because maybe in a
yeah,
world...
You said to lure him
there.
there.
Yeah, to lure him
I thought you were
in.
saying to, like, scare him. I was like, wow, I don't think it was scaring. But, yeah, it was
to lure
initially,
him in.
to get him there.
So, once you don't get Rodgers, it's like, I guess we got to stick with this guy. We got Russ. Let's see how this works.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously...
Yeah.
They were more on the Rush train than the Hackett train.
Yes.
Of like, they're more pumped they got him. Fine, we'll keep going with him.
Yeah.
The head coach will be the scapegoat here, and we'll get another guy. Hopefully, they can work with Russ. I mean, Peyton makes the most sense.
Yeah.
They talked about Russell Wilson. You remember when he was coming up as being compared to Drew Brees. He's just like a more mobile Drew Brees, which I could see. So I could see like someone like Sean Payton making a ton of sense.
I could understand that, but once again, it's like if you're Sean Payton, do you believe in Russ? That's the other part that
is the question.
Because whoever is going there, if you don't believe in Russ, you're in a terrible situation. Yeah. But yeah, man. Because now let's see what Arizona's open, Denver's open, Houston is open, Indianapolis is still technically open. They probably, I don't know. We'll see what they do on Saturday.
Yeah, it's time to move off Saturday.
I'm with you, but remember a couple weeks ago, what Irsay say? He's a strong candidate, So I'm like, I don't know, bruh. But that's at least 4 spots. That would be a terrible call. That's at least 4 spots, and that doesn't even account for any potential surprise firings that could happen. People have been trying to save Vrabel down in Tennessee. I don't personally see it, though, bro.
That'd be stupid.
I don't see it. I really don't. I don't see that happening. And then obviously we'll see what McVay does out in L.A. if he sticks around or if he decides to take some time. So, yeah.
If they get rid of Vrabel, that'd be the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
I'm with you, but we not down in Tennessee. We don't know how they operate. Kind of like when people look at us in Pittsburgh and they're like, man, if you get rid of Coach Tomlin, it's the stupidest thing. But how many people here in Pittsburgh still be hollering about that? Yeah.
Steeler Nation on fire. That call on Cam Hayward was so BS. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's, the game that we're in right now, man. And part of it is because of how people have reacted over the years. You guys have, in terms of media, in terms of just like how people will run with certain things when it's a violent hit. And now it's to the point where you can't tell the difference between a violent hit and a personal foul. If a receiver is hit hard, you got half the crowd hollering that it should be a helmet to helmet. But then when you look at it in replay, it's like that's not a helmet to helmet. But because it's violent, people get all worked up. So when I saw the Cam Hayward thing, it's just like, nah, this is today's climate. This is the byproduct of how people have become in terms of viewing this game. We like big hits only when it's in our favor, but it doesn't work like that when we're talking about defenders hitting offensive players now. If you hit a guy violently on offense, more than likely you're going to get flagged. That shows up in the collegiate game. It's showing up in the NFL game. And I don't think it's going away, man, unfortunately. So that's one of the things that we all just kind of got to hold your breath every time you see a guy get slammed hard or if you land on a guy, because that's what it is now. But you think about every time a star quarterback got hit hard and got hurt, this is when they would make those type of adjustments. This is why they would make those type of rules, because the market has shown that the fans, the consumer wants to see points scored. They want to see quarterbacks, receivers, long careers. The way to make that happen is to not allow those dudes to get hit certain ways or get slammed certain ways. So this is a part of it. So you're going to have some times where it's a gray area like this, where this is a football play 10 times out of 10 and it's nothing egregious or anything malicious, but it's a violent game. But because of where we are at NFL-wise, from a viewing perspective, this type of stuff you're going to always be questionable on. Like, that's just the reality of it for at least the interim. Now, it could shift, but that's just where we are right now. So
Hannibal 090 brings up a good point. Says, man, Watson was slippery as hell. Cam had to make sure he was down.
Yeah.
Because you were right. Everything you talked about going into the game, that's the one thing Watson has still maintained, at least this year, is escaping the pocket. He did that pretty well again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which call was worse, looking back. That Jets horse collar one or this one. They're both like, wow, of all the bad calls that we've witnessed this year, they got to be T1.
I personally
That's terrible.
I personally feel like Cam's call wasn't the worst call yesterday.
The Jets one?
No. Did you see Larry Ogunjobi?
You're talking about
Are we serious here?
Call.
Are we serious? That's all I'm saying. Are we serious? I was like, bro, you ain't even attempt to lie about it. You dang near grabbed his eyeball, bro. Like, what? And that's why, once again, y'all always hear me say, I don't do a lot of complaining about the refs because of this type of stuff, bro. It goes both ways in these games, man. It goes both ways. Larry Bear, Said, I got called a member of ISIS for a similar play on Johnny Manziel. So I'm going to feel some type of way specifically about this one. And it was against the Cleveland Browns, and it was at High/Acrisure Stadium. Everything was the exact same. And y'all let Larry get a sack, and everybody cheered for Larry. I got death threats. I'm a terrible person.
Well, those
threats.
weren't Steeler fans.
Oh, man, I don't care. I got that type of stuff. So that's all I'm saying. If Larry got away with that, we can't be hollering about Cam and that daggone call right there.
Well, if we ever have Ogunjobi on, maybe that's a question we got to ask him.
Yeah, because I'm like, bro, you literally grabbed his eyeball. You almost had his eyeball, bro. His hand was all the way in that thing. And then you get, bro, that's like an OG 15-yarder. Think about, like, back in the day, remember, it was like, we got the 5-yard face mask and the 15-yard face mask. Back when there was a little more savagery going on. I might have had a couple of them 15-yarders in that time frame, too. But still, that was a 15-yarder in the OG way. I was like, dang, Larry, bro, you wildin'. And they didn't even call it, man. You get that sack on your tally. Let's go, man. But yeah, bro, that's why I'm saying I can't trip on the Cam call like that. I can't, bro. I can't. Was it violent? Yes. Was it unnecessary? And from the referee in terms of calling it unnecessary, super unnecessary for the referee to call that. But the climate does reflect that. But for them to have not called the Larry call, I can't, bro. I can't.
Okay, then that makes it the Jets call was the worst.
It was definitely Jets call. Then we'll go with the Jets call. Yes.
Camonier, I will never for any reason wish that we'll ever, no matter what, no matter where, or who you're with, or where you're going, or where you've been, ever, for any reason, fire Mike Tomlin.
Near, far, wherever you are, we will never ask for that. No, we're not saying that because context does matter. I mean, in all seriousness, I get what you were saying, but from just, this perspective, this is a performance-based business. This is a results-based business. When the results don't reflect, then yeah, absolutely. I'll be one of the first guys up here hollering about moving on. But when the results do reflect that this guy is doing his job and doing it at a high level and doing it in a manner that does produce success, I'm not going to be on that train to ever want to move on from a guy like that. And, that's just kind of my stance with this because from being able to have other experiences with other organizations and other coaching staffs, I understand that these type of coaches don't just grow on trees. And for every one of these guys that will say, hey, man, they caught lightning in a bottle with a Sean McVay, we can point to how many other teams that don't catch that lightning, that do live in all this turnover purgatory, so to speak. Because we're successful, that's not a negative. Because we have sustained success, that's not a negative. And I could assure you, I'd much rather be on the sustained success side than the trying to be sustained success or the, hey, we get one good year every 20 years type situations. You do not want that. Trust me on this one.
I think one of the main questions around Tomlin, too, pertains to, like, staying with the Steelers long term is just, does he still have it? Does he still have that burning desire, right? Because he's already coached for how many years? This is 15 or 16 years?
16.
I do really feel like he's still got it. Yeah, he's still, especially with now, like, this
bro.
New young team.
It gives him
I think
life.
he wants to leave his mark.
Yeah. Because you got to think for him, this is two parts of his career. He had the first part where he grew with a young quarterback. Remember, he was still young in his own right when Ben was the quarterback here when we drafted him, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of grew together. They built a legacy together. They won a ton together. But now we get a chance to see Coach Tomlin as the veteran coach, the older coach. He's still not old, but you catch my drift, like older.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, can you still nurture these younger players? Can you be an Andy Reid to a Patrick Mahomes? Can you do the Pete Carroll to a young Russell Wilson? Can you, can you bring that dynamic here? And I think that he showed that he could this season. And this was realistically not, I don't even say this is the first opportunity because I truly feel that 19 season was that first opportunity when you lose Ben 6 quarters into the season. Like, we got a chance to really see him nurture a Mason Rudolph, handle a situation with the Mason and Duck, and then having to go back and forth with those guys to get the best out of it. So to me, when I think of all of that context, I'm just like, man, it's hard to look at him in a negative light because everything that we deem as successful at this level, he checks those boxes. Everything that we deem as successful, whether it's long-term or in the interim, he still checks those boxes. And it's like when you throw the situation on top of it in terms of the transition and the timing of everything, and for us to already have been back to clicking on this type of level this fast, it's like, once again, he's checking off every single box that I'm desiring in a coach, whether that's from personal experiences or even from just an outside perspective looking in. I don't see a lot of wrong with this. Now, is he above reproach? I'm not saying that either. Does he have areas to improve upon? Absolutely. But once again, are we going to say that these areas right here, which are very small, outweigh all of this positivity and all of this good that he does bring here? And that's the thing for me when I say, if you're willing to say that these couple of negatives are bigger and more important than all of this over here, then I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm not trying to change your opinion, because clearly we have very distinct differences in how we view things. If you can look at 3 to 4 negatives and say that that outweighs all of this from a full body and a short-term perspective, I can't go with you there. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at Coach Tomlin specifically whenever this conversation comes up about him, man.
100%.
Yeah.
And those small things that you're talking about, I will take 7-2, potentially could have been 8-1 since the bye over whatever they are.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, he holds on to guys too long. Hey, man, he needs better clock management. Hey, man, could he do better with the challenges? Hey, man, could he time out better? We're hollering about that type of stuff, right? Like, think about it. We hollering about that. Like, come on, bro. I'm not tripping on that, man. I'm not tripping on that, because every coach is going to deal with some of those type of things as well. But at least give me everything else that we've been talking about. Come on, babe.
Ryan McPherson, shaking my head at the refs like always. Football makes me petty. Did Flacco purposely lose the game to sabotage the Steelers? ? But shout out to the Steelers for the comeback season and to Steeler Nation.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Personally, I don't think that Flacco did, just because as a player, man, we, especially during the game or like during our careers, we hold grudges, but it's not in the sense of I'm going to make myself look bad to make you fail type grudge. It's not to that dynamic. We more so treat it as like, man, it's beef. Like, I want to go and physically like put my hands on you type situation. Not, let me go lose to this team around the corner just so that way it can make sure that Deke doesn't have a good day today. Like, nah, I ain't trying to go out like that, because we're naturally super competitive and we naturally got people that we're trying to compete against on that other squad. And you're trying to also keep your NFL life alive. If you're Joe Flacco and you want to stay around, you think you're trying to go out there and put bad tape out there? Nah. You don't get to have the gravy train of being a backup for multiple years, or have the gravy train of just sticking around and getting checks for multiple years, if you can't at least execute in these obscure one-off type situations. So, nah, I don't personally think that Flacco was out there trying to do that. I think that just Flacco that's who he is at this stage of his career. And yeah, he's just the game, man. Hey, Father Time undefeated, baby. All right. Your skills going to diminish. You play this game long enough, man, you're going to start to go downhill. You'll start to decline. Everybody goes through it. And it's just a matter of how slow you can make that process happen. Or do you walk away before it shows up on tape too much? But you got to pick and choose which one you're going to go with, because otherwise the team going to make that decision for you. Or the fans going to see it like how we seen with Flacco at times, man. But, yeah.
Cliff the Dark Knight, Moats, what happens during an exit interview?
Man, so during the exit interview, a couple of things. If you are a rookie, you typically have to wait till the end to have your exit meeting, because, well, and I'll speak in Pittsburgh, because obviously, we've done it a couple of different ways in Buffalo, but I'm in Pittsburgh. The way Coach Tomlin does it, he's going to talk to his vets get priority. Any vet, man, if you want to go in there and talk to him that next day, he won't take a meeting on the day like today. He's not going to have a meeting today because it's too fresh. And everybody's going to have feelings. And nobody's really going to have time to process. So he's big on that element of it. So no individual X meetings. You'll have team meetings. You'll talk to your coaches and stuff like that. And you'll set up your schedules for your meetings. But in there, as a rookie, you'll go in and, he'll give you a offseason checklist. Hey, man, I want you to work on this and this and this with your game. I want you to work on this and this and this with your physique. I want you to work on this and this and this from a leadership standpoint or from a mentality standpoint. Then he will also have them give him their full offseason program. Where are you staying at this offseason? Write it down. Address, phone number. Who are you with? What's your studying plan? Who are you working out with? I need to know. If it's an individual, if it's a college, if it's a group, I need names. I need to know. Okay, how are you studying film? Are you going to be taking your materials with you? All right, let's go. Make sure you got everything uploaded. Check it off. very much like a father to let these guys understand how critical this first offseason is for them, because that's how you avoid a second year slump by having those type of plans. So he's really hands on with the rookies. And he'll also give you a full evaluation, how many plays you played this season. So from there, if you played, over 1,000 plays, the training staff, strength and conditioning staff already have a report to Coach Tomlin to let him know that, hey, you need to mandatorily take off this much time. No training. Go ride a bike. Go walk. Do not do nothing football related because your body has to recover. Now, some players will take heed to that. Other players don't. And you play that game and, everybody's different. But I trust it because that does keep you healthy, especially coming back. But if you don't and you keep working out, that's how you really fatigue your muscles and you start to deal with a lot of just nagging injuries. So you have to let your body recover. And that's something that he will also educate the rookies on in those exit meetings. And then from there, man, he'll talk to the not the undrafted guys. He'll talk to the unrestricted free agents or anybody that this was a contract year for. And this is the best part about it, man. And this is what I love about Coach T, because other places, obviously I was in Buffalo, it's not always as transparent. Here in Pittsburgh, he's going to tell you off the dribble if he wants you back or not. I've had to think about it. I've had 4 exit meetings with him, but 2 of them were contract years. In Buffalo, I have 4 exit meetings. I only had 1 contract year. So I've seen this thing play out 3 different ways, but for both,
what was said 2018.
So both ways, this is how it goes. So both ways, if he wants you back, as soon as you walk in the door, you sit down, he's going to tell you, like, first off, he always starts off positive because he's just a positive guy. So when he first come in, he's like, look, man, I love what I saw from you, this and this and that. Man, you could have done this and that better, but man, hey, you know what? It is what it is. We ain't finished the way we wanted, but I love what we got going on here. If he wants you back, he'll say, hey, look, I know it's a contract year. We want to do business. If he says you want to do business, all right, cool. That's all I needed to hear. All right, we want to do business. From there, he'll say, all right, we'll go through that same, not as in-depth as the rookies, but he'll go through that process of, hey, you played X amount of plays, man. You already know you got your routine. You're a vet. You're good. Go see Kevin Colbert. And when you go talk to Kev, that's from there, it would be like, all right, we not getting into hard negotiations today, but it's a mutual interest of, we want to do business with you. And I forgot to say, when he says, I want to do business with you, he'll also say, how do you feel? And that's when you respond. So for me, first time I responded back, I want to do business with y'all too. And then from there, like, all right, go see Kevin Colbert. You go over there, talk with Kev. Kev, make sure, hey, man, all right, you know how we feel. We love you here. I love y'all, All right, we'll make sure our agents are in contact, and then you go from there, head out. 18 was different. 18 hit you with.
I need to hear what he said.
18, but we both, me and Coach Simon already knew it was up prior to that
with
season.
TJ Watt.
Yeah, because prior to that season starting, I already knew contract-wise what I was going to be making. And then when you read in the room, it's like, all right, we already can see y'all really want to push Bud. Y'all want him out there. We get that. We already could tell with, the Jar situation how y'all wanted to move in a certain way. We get that. Then it was like, all right, you draft TJ. It was like, all right, cool. So when we had the conversation in training camp, when I'm playing how I'm playing, and, the guys are out there who aren't out there, and he told me what he told me, I was like, okay. So we already knew what it was by the time the end of the season hit. So I go into the interview, and he's like, hey, man, you did what you're supposed to do, as we already talked about, it's not in your control, boom, boom, boom. It's always love here, but go ahead, test the market. It's like, yo, I already know what it is. In my mind, I'm like, I appreciate you. In my mind, I was thinking I'm going to have retired. As I already told you and said it up here plenty of times. It was like, yo, I'm thinking, like, when I'm shaking your hand, bro, give me the hug. I'm being honest, my retirement in a couple months, don't trip. Just so happened AZ called. So, yeah. But that's how they go, though, man. It's pretty dope, though, bro, because, like you said, it's rough at times, but you want that.
At least you know where you stand.
Yeah, because it's nothing worse, bro. You sit in that meeting, bro, and they like, yo, man, we love you, bro. We're going to sign you back. Yeah, we know we switched up the organization, but, man, we got you, And your phone is dead.
Oh, man.
And you're going to the facility every day, and your phone is dead, bro. And you looking at these people in their face, they in the same gym as you, like, bro. And you like, bro, I've never went through a negotiation, so maybe we not supposed to talk. And then you start to realize what's happening, and then you see the report in the paper. Oh, most don't want to come back. Most want to test the market. You're like, whoa, what? They say what?
Damn.
Yeah. So, yeah, very different. Very different.
Sounds like something like that actually happened, huh?
Oh no, it's very accurate. But that's also part of the reason why it took a little bit more time for me to even get back to how I was with Buffalo. You know what I mean? As we talked about it, it's been multiple regime changes since then, and everything is good now. So yeah, you know everything is real good now. Like really good. You know, like really, really good. Did I tell you things are like really good now?
Where?
Up and Buffalo, like the relationships have been mended. You know, every once in a while you got to mend a relationship, bro. I don't know if you know, Deke. They've mended a lot. Deke, they mended the relationships in a major way, Deke. Deke, they had us in the club with our black and gold on, Deke. That's how you know they was mending them relationships, Deke. Deke, they had it. Oh, baby, Deke, every time I'm up there, Deke, I'm just like, Lord, where was this energy all them years ago, baby? Where was this at then? Whew.
The way you talk about this team, just
what?
I just don't hear this excitement ever about.
Yes, you do.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Pittsburgh is my wife. Buffalo is my first love. That's it. I married Pittsburgh, bro. You can have multiple loves in your lifetime. It's all about the timing of it. You know? Buffalo was my first love. They was the ones who gave me the chance. They were the ones who, when I was just this young kid with all this dirt on me and I ain't know no better with the braids, they was like, yo, holla at me. But from there, I had to grow. And then I found true love. And then I was like, oh, I want to put a ring on this thing here. So that's what we went ahead and put a ring on the D. And you even the best man, see? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful situation here, man.
It sounds like,
yeah,
even though
situation.
You said you're committed here,
yeah,
you got a wandering eye, though, for the old flame.
Hey.
More than wandering, actually.
Listen, Deke, you told me it don't matter where I get my appetite as long as I come home to eat. Okay? That's what you told me, Deke. You said I can get my appetite wherever I want to get it at. Just come home to eat it. All right, I can do that. That's what you told me, Deke. So
I never said that.
So every once in a while,
Never said that.
Every once in a while, I do send the hey big head text up there to Buffalo. Make sure everything's still. Oh, girl, you been working out, huh? Oh, all right, I see you. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, but I still come home. I still podcast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What's this next month or so gonna just?
Hey, you doing too much.
Like,
you doing too much. You doing too much.
What a week?
You doing too much, bro.
A big time vacation.
You are doing too
out
much.
Of town.
You are doing too much, bro.
Is that what this week is? Don't hear from you.
What's he talking about, bro? You think I got traveling plans this weekend? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh damn! I was just making an analogy, but
you think we travel this
maybe
weekend?
the analogy is a little bit more real than I think.
You think we traveling somewhere this
Damn.
weekend?
We doing a virtual podcast next week.
You think we traveling somewhere this weekend?
Damn, bro.
I was talking about Deke. I was talking about man.
Damn.
You said Monday might be a little bit later of a start time. You said Monday, a little later start. We might just do Tuesday. Might want a Tuesday show. Might want a Tuesday.
Damn. That's tough.
I was at Acrisure yesterday, just to let you know that. Just wanted to throw that out there. I was at Acrisure.
It was packed.
It actually was.
It was
bro.
like 80% full, I'd say.
It was.
Good crowd.
Yeah.
Gorilla mode. Followed Pickett's career at Pitt. Didn't have the crazy numbers early, but he'd make some throws and plays that make you say, wow. Stats won't tell the full story this season on his impact on the stretch run success. I think he hits the nail on the head. Because
I would agree, man.
even before his Heisman-type senior season, where he
was
threw
still
40-plus touchdowns, whenever you'd watch his games, you could just tell dude was a baller.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have the craziest of stats at times, but he just tried his, like, I can't say tried his hardest to win. Like, he was the leader of that team. He was clearly the best quarterback on the team because anytime he would get hurt early on,
it would be a drop off.
Oh, it'd be a huge drop off. And then whenever he came in, like, could still keep Pitt afloat. Like, we still had some decent records during those Pickett early years of, like, 8 wins or whatever, whatnot. But then, his senior year, he really broke out. And I feel like if he's making this comparison, I'm with him. Like, I don't even care what the stats say about Pickett this year. I felt like he played really, really damn good.
Absolutely.
Got better and better as the season went on. And then I think it hit its peak at this game. Even though the stats aren't going to tell that, I feel like that was his best game.
You know how I feel. I'm a context over stats guy. Stats can tell you a part of the story, but it doesn't tell you the whole story. In fact, stats can be very misleading at times or even lie to you flat out. But the context is the part that you don't lose sight of. And we get that context here when we watch these games, when we're intimately following this team. And then when we go back and rewatch some of the tapes and stuff like that, we learn a lot more about why it is what it is versus just simply reading off the numbers and trying to make a hard line stance on that, because numbers will lie to you. And that's just the reality of it. there's plenty of quarterbacks that might have had better statistical numbers or even better statistical outputs in a per game standpoint than Kenny. But if we actually chop it up and say, hey, quarterback for quarterback, drive for drive, scenario for scenario, who do we like better? I feel like we would be leaning more towards Kenny in those scenarios because of those things that we've talked about, because of the intangibles, the growth, the anticipatory throws, and just not making the same mistake twice. Learning on the fly.
Just trying to win.
You know what I mean?
Focus on winning.
Not allowing the moment to be too big. These are all things that matter in a major way. And I personally feel really confident about Kenny going forward because of the things that he showed. And that's the beauty of how both of us operate. You do it on the front end, and we know that at times it can have you, kind of be crazy. But when it hits, it hits. And it's like, yo, this is why you feel as confident as you do. But then on the same side, I look at my perspective, and it's like when we talk about allowing it to develop, allowing it to mature and nurture and actually show it, that's when I could get on board with it. And I felt like we definitely saw that as well. So, like I said, I'm with you, man. I think that he's definitely the guy that we need for right now. I mean, until I see something different. And like I said, unless he drastically shifts, which I don't anticipate happening, I don't see why you even have to look at that and say, hey, man, we don't have a quarterback that can compete. We don't have a quarterback that can get it done. Because I think he's shown us multiple times now, especially down the stretch, that he does have all of those things. Now it's just about experience, repetition, getting more opportunities. And that's how you start to build this thing out. And that's when you talk about, especially 7. Like 7 became 7 because of what he was doing. What he showed you in the first year. Then he showed it he could do it in year 2, in year 3. Then you saw him doing it in year 7. You're like, dang, he's still doing these things. Now it's year 10. Now you're like, bro, okay, we got this. Like, it's shown full body work. And then it's like, yo, he's operating on a whole nother level after that. It's just like, yo, this is a machine, so to speak. But you don't start out as that machine. You got to develop into that. And it doesn't happen in 1 year. It doesn't happen overnight. But when you see that steady progression, the way that we're seeing with Kenny, that is what you need at this level. And not everybody has that, man. And that has been shown countless times, whether you're talking first-round quarterbacks or undrafted quarterbacks. They might flash and do it once. Might even do it 2 times. But the consistency part is the big difference, and that's what we have seen from Kenny throughout the season, man, and even dating back to what he was doing at college. And that's why when people made it such a negative, oh, man, he stayed for so long, he's supposed to be dominant. Well, hey, I'm glad that he was. I'm glad that he was dominant, because that showed that he could do what? Develop. That showed that he could do what? Mature. That showed that he could do what? Continue to improve. And that's all you're looking for, because at this level, nothing stays the same. You're either getting better or you are getting worse. It is that simple at the NFL level. So for me, I'd rather have a guy that continues to get 1% better each day than the guy that is losing 1% each day. And that's just how we roll, baby.
And just in terms of his ceiling, I think there were throws being made yesterday.
I would agree.
And it goes back to everything I said after the Raiders game. I'm like, I just do not want to hear questions about arm strength or arm talent again.
Yep.
Because, dude, how he was slinging that rock yesterday.
I would agree.
Was just like how any of these other dudes, where the NFL social media accounts or any of these, other NFL accounts out there that cover the NFL, they'll be on Twitter salivating over some of these dudes' throws. He was making those type of throws yesterday.
Would agree, bro.
Not only just ones on the run and stuff, middle of the field, but he was also slinging. He was slinging the deep ball too. Now he was just missing on them, but again, these were like really nice passes, just to show he can do it. So like, I just don't want to hear those questions anymore, because the talent's there. And then if you want to talk about all the intangibles, we've been seeing that as the second half of the season's been going on too.
I would definitely agree.
2 clutch game-winning drives, dude. Even in this one, we had a final drive where the Browns got it within 1 score. Now it didn't happen to be where it was 2 minutes left,
but it was still with.
It was like 8 minutes left. It's like, dude, you got to do something.
And they had momentum too. Let's be real.
Yeah,
they definitely having some momentum going, bro.
And we delivered. Pickett delivered again.
Yep. All right, so a couple real quick. I think I'm seeing a 50 up here, but I don't.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
it's somewhere here. Hold on.
I was going to say, I saw that pop up, but I also want to. We had a new upper room member. I want to shout him out real quick. Money, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And welcome to the family. I didn't know if you wanted me to pronounce it money like moolah, baby, or Imani like Imani. You know what I mean? Because it's spelled E, but money. So, just let me know. But however you want me to say it, I got your back, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Bro, like, there's a few passes that like stick out of my mind right now. Dude, the Pickens. the back shoulder. Then he went right back to it again, but Pickens was just out of bounds. Yeah. He had another one on the other sideline. I think it was in that final drive. The one to Connor Hayward over the middle of the field.
That was filthy.
And then the touchdown to Pickens was an absolute dime, too. People are saying, like, that's wide open. Dude, he's got to arc that over to defenders.
And who cares if it was open? He had to identify to make the throw. Shoot, I like the throw that he made to Connor in the end zone. I just say take it off a little bit because of who you're throwing to. The one that went
he threw it high.
It went through his hands, bro.
Yeah.
If it's Pickens catches that. Connor, you got to take a little off of that. That's all I would just say. Like, but nah, man. But I feel like if people were still on the arm strength train after what we've been seeing down the stretch from him, I just looked at it as they were just going to continue to just be negative people towards Kenny. Like, they already had their mind made up. Kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the season. It was like certain people, if you got your mind made up, you weren't going to be open to anything other than what their thought process was. And I think a lot of people had made up their mind before the bye week on Kenny that he can't throw deep and that he's going to turn the ball over. And they weren't going to come off of that stance. So even though we kept talking context, like, yo, just allow it to play out, and we finally started to see it and show it on numerous occasions now, I just think that people were still just caught up because they already had their mind made up. But it's like, bro, he's already shown that he can make them throw. He already, like, bro, think about, man, I think of the, what was that? Vegas. The Raiders game. I think about those he was making in that game. I'm like, bro, that's arm strength. Like,
when it's 0 degrees and a negative
like,
20 wind chill.
If you could throw that like that, then I'm not tripping when it's 40 out there. Like, come on.
But it's just funny because he proved he could obviously throw the deep ball in his first couple games.
Yeah,
like the Bills game, he was doing it. And then the Jets game, the first time he was in, first action, he came out slinging. That was the thing that people were complaining about Mitch with a little bit.
Yeah, but he going to throw that thing up there.
Yeah, Kenny, first thing. Like, first pass. I mean, it was a pick because it hit Claypool's hands. He's falling away and everything. But obviously, he could do that. It's just, as time went on, it felt like, in my opinion, I don't know if you'd agree too, it was just more about winning and focused on hitting wide open receivers. It didn't have to be a deep ball every time. And we were running the ball good.
Think about it. That's what we also started to say down the stretch when we were like, people are complaining about the play calls from Matt Canada. And we're like, we're running the ball with success. And you're saying because we're running the ball with success instead of throwing the ball 40 times that this is bad. I never could follow that narrative. It's like just because it doesn't win style points doesn't mean that this is not a good approach. Doesn't mean this is not a productive offense. Doesn't mean this offense isn't capable, which we saw yesterday. Very much capable. But that's the thing. It's a different style of what we are accustomed to seeing. But that doesn't mean that it's not effective. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It doesn't mean that it isn't going to even improve if they stick with it. Which, as we talked about, I still feel like they will stick with it because everything that we looked for or that we complained about with Matt Canada, we saw him down the stretch for a large sample size prove that he could do it. What were some of the things we complained about? Could we sustain a drive? Could we get a first down? Could we complete third downs? Shoot, could we even get to the red zone? Could we score touchdowns? Could we score more than 12 points? You know what I mean? And, could we target the middle of the field? I think I made sure. And I'll say, can we throw the ball deep? I'll say that twice just in case I didn't say it the first time. And play action pass. I felt like he was getting all those. And predictability, right? Because they say it was too predictable with the jet sweep, stuff like that. So
I could care less about any of that. How about we just put up points on the board and win? And that's what we've been doing.
But just wait on it. So those were some of all the things that were like really hot topics, right? So do we change the predictability? I would agree. I think we did because, man, it wasn't a lot of calls down this stretch where we were like, I know this is coming right here. Shoot, how many times did he get freaky with the Derek Watt play, bro? How many times he sauced that play, and it still worked? Tutty, it still hit. It still hit. Just remember that.
It was nice.
But it's like every time you get credit with that, the jet sweep, oh, man, it doesn't work. And now it's like, yo, we don't even know when that's coming or not. And it still is
actually
having
works
success.
a decent amount of the time now.
But then on top of that, hey, man, protection-wise, I know this doesn't get talked about a lot, but we improved offensive line-wise because we also improved some of the schematic things that we were doing to help those guys out. We weren't leaving them always single blocking. We were making sure we had guys in the C area, right? We saw motions, we saw shifts, we saw all the type of window dressing that you would need, and those guys actually improved as well. But that was also something. When we talked about, can we implement the middle of the field? Man, we really saw Pat Frymouth start to emerge this season, right? Now, it sucks he got hurt. Hopefully, it's not significant.
It's not.
Good.
They said sprain.
Yeah, high ankle sprain.
No, they said MCL, ACL sprain.
Oh, MCL.
No surgery.
Okay. Oh, thank God. I thought it was lower leg, but dang, I didn't know it was knee.
That's what I thought, too. It looked like high ankle.
Yeah. But remember, that was a conversation, right? Could we work the middle of the field? We have a tight end. Pat Frymouth, man, we started to get him involved. He started to ball out. Man, you got this all-world receiver, George Pickens. Can we get him more involved? Shoot, you saw him down the stretch becoming more prevalent. We already knew Deontay was going to get his. Still can't believe he didn't get no Teddy. Boy, he should have had two, though. He had opportunities, man. D-line just did their job. D-line took care of it. He got a 2-point conversion, though, so we'll at least give him a hug for that, you know? But on top of that, it was like, yo, can we run the ball? That was more of a Najee thing and an O-line thing, but even with that, Matt Canada figured out a way to properly use Najee and Jaylen Warren, and Najee did get that 1K for the season. Salute him, salute the homie. Absolutely, he got the 1K.
Tough earned yards yesterday.
Facts, bro.
Really
facts.
Tough.
But all of the different things that had come under fire, sustaining drives, man. You talk about the second half of the season. How many times did we see us have double-digit play drives? We're one of the league leaders in that, in terms of sustained drives. We were doing that. Then when we talk about just scoring points, we did score a lot more points in the second half of the season than we did in the first half, and we still left points out there. But all of these different things that I look at, and I'm just like, man, we're down to now saying we want to be 100% in the red zone. That's essentially the standard we're trying to put Canada at now. No, let's be real. Let's be real. You know that's the case, bro. You know that's the case because it's Deke. How many times we in the red zone yesterday, bro?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we were moving the ball again at a good rate.
How many times we score in the red zone, Deke?
I'm honestly not sure.
Definitely 2. And realistically, should have been 3 if we count the Najee. If we count the Najee one, where if we challenge it, we don't challenge it. But the challenge with Deshaun was a touchdown. We end up fumbling 2 plays later. It's like, bro, we scored 28 points and we were effective in the red zone.
Pickett sneak didn't work on that second play. Huh?
It didn't. Damn. Yeah. But it's like we're to the point now where the big criticism for Matt Canada is if he doesn't go 4 for 4 in the red zone, we want to fire him. That's the thing. Like when I went on social media, it was like, bro, that was really what people was on. He ain't good enough in the red zone. He ain't scoring in the red zone. And it's like, bro, we technically did score in the red zone. And we put up 28 points as well. It's like we want to be perfect now in that element because of what? The narrative has continued to shift. It was like, man, everything that people didn't like about him or everything that people criticized him for, he showed that he could do it on a more consistent basis. And that's why we won so much down the stretch. You're not winning 7-2, going 4 in a row if we're not effective on offense, if we can't sustain drives on offense, and if we can't when it's clutch moments. And why do we talk about clutch moments being weighted so differently? Because that's what playoffs are like, man. The last 2 to 4 minutes of a regular season game, man, that's realistically how the playoffs feel for 4 quarters. You're operating on such just like everything has to be perfect that one little mistake can kill you right now. Whereas in the regular season, it isn't always like that. But show me that you can execute like that. And once again, down the stretch, how many times did we? It wasn't a ton of blowout games down the stretch, right? It wasn't a ton of, man, we just feel comfortable. But it was like, yo, when we had to execute, we did that. And that's the other part where I'm just like, this is only his second year, too, doing this thing, huh? So you mean to tell me he has a chance to actually improve and grow and get better? Okay. That's how I look at it, man. I feel really good about our situation right now, bro.
With Pickett,
I feel really good about our situation right now,
why
bro.
rock the boat?
Bro. I feel good about our situation, man.
And going back to what you're saying about points potentially being left out on the board in this second half stretch, I don't really consider a lot of those points being left out on the board on Canada. I really didn't. If you go back to game by game,
I'm with you.
Mitch had those 3 picks in the Ravens game. Pickett made some overthrows at times.
And we had some drops.
Deontay had drops. Najee had drops for touchdowns. So those aren't on Canada.
But that's the thing. But it's like once people had already made their mind.
Boss had some missed field goals.
Once people made their mind up, though, that was the situation. And that's kind of like when I think of how people today could look at Kenny as a negative. It's like, you already had your mind made up. You weren't going to allow the context to take place. So if that's your energy, why debate that person? Let that person walk and feel the way that they feel. And, eventually they'll see that they're not right. And that's fine, And then eventually they'll get, hip to the situation. But, yeah, that's just where we're at with it right now, man. The arrow's pointed up. Shout out to, who said that? Charlie Doyle. Shout out to you, man. Arrow's pointed up. Let's go.
It is.
It's pointed up.
Come on, yeah. That was an edited quote by Michael Scott. Love Coach T. Yeah, I get what he's saying. Yeah.
Oh, you're the office guy, man.
Yeah, I get what he's saying from that. It was. Next one. Ryan McPherson. Can someone tell Tomlin he needs to challenge more? I love Coach T, but his lack of challenging needs to change.
What do we say when we said criticism? That's definitely warranted, man. And absolutely, I could understand, though, why he didn't in that scenario, because the quarterback sneak had been operating at a high level. And in those type of scenarios where it is kind of chaotic and you don't want to potentially run the risk of burning a timeout. If you lose the challenge, you go for a bread and butter call, which was what? The QB sneak. It just so happened they didn't get in, and then who would have thought the next play you go back to Najee, and now he fumbles it, jumping over the top. That was just the sequence of events, and, it sucks, and after the fact, we're over here like, you should have challenged it. But I don't think any of us thought that we weren't going to score when they went right back to the line of scrimmage and went with the QB sneak, because we've seen it work how many times. And then to go back to Najee the next play, like I said, it was just unfortunate, but that is a fair criticism of him. And that is something that even him, remember, he's worked on the challenges. At first, it was all exclusively on him. Then, was that last year, I believe it was, or during the COVID year, he went and appointed somebody to take over the challenges, to call down directly to him to tell him when to challenge and when not to challenge. So even with this criticism right here, I'm just asking myself, is that technically on him, or is that on the person that he hired to be appointed to watch over challenges and tell him when to or when not to? We don't know all the dynamics of how that relationship works, but I'm with you. It's still a criticism. So, yeah, absolutely.
Come on, you can't be a Steelers fan and give up midway.
You can't be a diehard Steelers fan and give up midway. And I think you passed the diehard test, and everybody that's in our chat, because think about it, even the haters, right, or the quote-unquote pessimistic people, they still low-key are diehard because they still rocking with it each and every day. And that's the beauty of it. But the ones that check out midway, they're just fans. They're not diehard fans. They're just regular fans. But the diehards, and those are the ones like us, man, that see the context, that can see the growth, and they see where this team is and understand why to feel optimistic, why to feel hopeful. They say, man, there's plenty of stuff going on to not feel hopeful. There's plenty of stuff to walk around being upset about. I ain't looking for no other reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for the positives. And when the universe is giving us something positive like it's giving us with this team right now, man, you better take it and roll with it.
I'll go back to that $50 comment too, right?
Oh, yeah, salute.
828 style. So proud of the Berg for what they did this year. A lot of people wrote us off, but we ain't right back. The Dolphins just taking up space. 14 is him. 18 is Dim. Maybe he's trying to say him again.
Yeah.
And 22 is Becoming.
Let's go.
Refs tried to give it to the Browns.
Yeah.
5-5 is gone. 83 quietly good. 8 special. D was great.
Let's go. Y'all said, 5-5 gone. Y'all want right there?
TG said it too. I think we all got those vibes right now.
All right. Can I take you a moment? I haven't even talked to my wife about this yet. It's been bugging me, though. I got a chance to meet his dad yesterday, bro.
Devin Bush's dad?
Yes.
Is it Devin Bush Sr.?
Yes. I was doing the interview with Santonio. We have the live crowd, man. He came up over, man. We spoke for a little bit. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, dang, bro. Like, how when I meet, like, and I get you on a personal level, I'm like, dang. Like, now I feel like I want to be even like on your side. But the reason I feel guilty is because it actually didn't change my feelings. And I was like, dang, I don't know if that's a good sign or not, bro. Usually, me, bro, like, if I'm tough on a person or if I, like, feel certain ways, like, if I meet and then we talk, it's like, bro, all right, man, I ain't tripping no more. But it's like, dang, man.
What happened?
It was all love. It was nothing weird. I promise it was nothing weird. Like, he was a super cool dude, man. Like, big time, like, salute him because, like, bro, your son is in the league, bro. Like, this is major. But, like, I don't know. It didn't hit that feel like how I usually feel. You know what I mean? Like, usually I would come in here and I'm like, bro, man, like, man, nah, bro, he gonna be all right, bro. He gonna turn it around. Like, I feel good about it. Let's get it. And it still ain't happening. I don't know, bro. I don't know. So that can't be a good sign, bro. I don't think that's a good sign either.
Yeah, I feel like with Robinson's emergence late in this season, we're going to have Jack back, most likely.
I'm hoping that because if he comes back,
I think it's just going to be, I just feel like it's going to be too busy of a room. Miles Jack, definitely Spillane back. Spillane, just that steady guy. You want as the depth piece.
I would agree.
And then you got to have Robinson in the room. And if you're already playing him right now, why wouldn't that just continue to go up as the offseason goes?
And we might even bring something else in.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It was like, I don't know. Usually I feel better. Usually I was expecting to feel a lot more optimistic. And I don't know, man.
If we didn't see Robinson play like he did these last few games, I think it'd be different.
Maybe that's it, bro.
Because we could get Devin Bush back on a cheap contract, whatever.
Maybe that's it.
Give him his last dance here with the Steelers, see what he could do. But actually seeing Robinson perform and knowing that he just transferred over from a running back to a linebacker a couple years ago. And feeling like he has way more untapped
Because you know
potential.
what else that reminds me of? when TJ came here, he was only a couple years removed from playing tight end.
Yeah.
And it was like, dang, dude, you're already here. Just imagine when you actually like learn it and know it. And Mark, it just shows up. It's like even his mistakes. I'm like, bro, your mistakes are good mistakes. Like we can coach that up. Even when he missed the tackle in the middle of the field, I'm like, bro, you was just already dropping down too low. You got to keep your feet. Keep your feet. That's it. But it's like, man, when you watch the passion that he plays with, man, it's just like it's hard not to get excited about that. But like you said, that is so different than what we had been seeing. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting, though, bro. It'll be interesting. And that's the beauty of also this time of year, man. We're going to get those answers sooner than later, Wish it would have been pushed back a little bit longer, but those extra meetings is happening.
Yeah.
There'll be some conversations had. Most of the time, we'll get beat reporters and stuff like that will start to leak some of that info out too because they're down there in the locker room with these guys throughout the week. So
what happens with signings? How quick can those happen? I know cuts can happen.
Cuts can
really
happen.
Quick. I remember when Villanueva got cut like the day after.
So cuts
we
can
lost
happen.
in that wild card game.
Cuts can happen right away, unless it's a player like. I will use him just for an example, but I do not believe this has any legs. Cameron Hayward. For example, a guy like Cam, he wouldn't be a cut that would happen today. He would be a late, like, April around the draft or, OTA time frame when they're talking about post-June and pre-June type cuts and stuff like that. When I think of guys that would potentially run the risk of, or that would be a cut now, it would be
William Jackson.
I would say Akello. Because he still has multiple years on his deal. He has a bigger cap hit. But right now, if they could make a decision and say,
I looked at his contract. It would make sense.
You know what I mean? Like a player like him. Not saying that that's the case. I'm not putting that on him because, I don't want anybody to get cut. That's not cool to me, especially, bro. I hate like that convo. But that's kind of how I would look at it. I would say a guy like him is more in line for what you're talking about, news happening like soon, those type of dudes. Whereas a guy like this Cam, that's later down the offseason. Even I know he said it and he was being sincere.
Dude, the way he's played these last 4 weeks.
That's my thing.
I mean, we need. Hopefully, we can maybe do a restructure or something.
Restructuring is the big part.
I'd take him back as is. Holy hell.
Yeah, it's always. But once again, when we talk money, this is why it's so important because how the team views it. If keeping Cam at that cost means you lose Larry Ogunjobi, how does the team view those two guys? If the team feels like, man, if we could get Cam to take a little bit of a cut in terms of restructure, but that means I can keep Larry, well, now everything works out. But it really comes down to that because you're talking age versus productivity. You know what I mean? Both of these guys were productive. Larry, we could probably say was productive the longer term in terms of like throughout the season, whereas for Cam, he really had it going towards the stretch. You know what I mean? Post bye week. So it's like that dynamic. Not saying that he was playing bad, just not on this type of level where he was dominant. Like yesterday was dominant, Cam.
10 sacks on the season.
You know what I mean? Like these past weeks have been dominant. It's just you're asking yourself, do I want to keep this at this rate for this cost, even if it's not going to give me 17 weeks of this? It's not going to give me 12 weeks of this. It might only give me 6 weeks of that. Maybe 8. Well, next year be a year older. So does it decline even more? Worse for Larry, we can just see
he's 28
he's excited.
or 29.
Yeah. So it's just like that becomes more in play. And I think that's more so what he was talking about. But obviously it comes off as like, oh man, why wouldn't the team want you back? But it's not as simple as what they want him back because he's technically under contract. It's more so what's that number going to be that he's willing to play for and that the team is comfortable paying him based on what else they'll be able to keep around here and stuff like that also.
I'm surprised he brought it up this quickly.
Well,
I think he said it in a very matter of fact and almost in a gratitude and a grateful way too.
And I think Cam did.
It was probably asked to him. Maybe that's why.
But I think also the thing is this, because we all get asked it and we can answer it truthfully or we can answer it the way we are taught in media training. Cam was truthful. The media training is this. Do you think you'll be back? Hey, man, if they want me back, man, I'd love to be back. You know that, period. Nothing more, nothing less. But he gave you the what? I mean, we'll see. We know how it goes. You know, it's a business, this and that. He was real somber. He was real direct. So it was like he let you know the core feelings of what this is. He also let you know mentally what it is also. That's accurate. You know what I mean? I just love the fact that he actually was comfortable enough to put that out there so people could understand the context and the severity of it. Even if they don't understand directly what he was talking about, they'll still understand that, yeah, it's never a guarantee that you're back. It's never a guarantee. And when you start getting them second contracts, them third contracts, and that number goes up and your age goes up, everything is an evaluation. They look at you as a depreciating asset. Every year, it's no different when you buy that car and you take it off the lot. The longer it goes, the value keeps going down. And that's how they view the players. Cam understands that. I think for him also, regardless of if he was asked it or not, I think him being transparent was more so him leaning into this situation versus allowing it to just be a cloud over his head where nobody kind of talks on it, because we handle it both ways.
He's one of those guys where probably people view him as like untouchable. Oh, they'd never do anything with Cam.
Yeah, but it's like we all, handle contract situations, free agency differently. Some people want to talk about it and hey, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's get it out, put it on Front Street. He's one of those guys. Some of the other guys, they take it and just like, you know what? Out of sight, out of mind. I know it's here, but I'm not going to put a lot of attention in. I'm going to leave it alone. I did it both ways. I personally like out of sight, out of mind. But I get why he's like that. You know what I mean? So it is real. It is real. But I do feel like he'll be back, though.
Steeler Nation on fire. Dobbs didn't play a bad game.
Nope.
Bring him back in trade match.
Oh. Dobbs like where he at. Dobbs don't want to come back here right now. Dobbs got an opportunity. That's all he wanted. That is all he wanted. He thought he was going to get the opportunity in Cleveland, and we saw it didn't work out. Obviously, when he first got that opportunity in Jacksonville, how it played out wasn't the best situation, but he feels really good about his scenario right now. Rightfully so, man. Like, he's a quarterback that is extremely smart, and if you put him in a scenario where he's going to have a run game and you're asking him to execute play action pass and use some mobility, he can do that. And we saw that. I mean, yeah. That's just the reality of it, baby. Yeah.
So you think he has a chance with Tennessee?
Yes, because of the timing of it.
To compete for the starting spot.
Just because of the timing of it. Number one, what did we say with Malik? He's a project, right? That was the whole conversation of, would we take him or would you want to go with Kenny Pickett? Kenny, more pro-ready, but who has higher ceiling. Malik, coming out, looks like higher ceiling, but we know he's going to have more work to do. Right now, if you're Dobbs, he still has the work to do in terms of Malik. So, granted, he'll get every opportunity to start it out in the offseason, but you know what that work is going to take because you've been doing this. Dobbs been in this league for 6 years. He knows how hard this is. He knows what they're going to be looking for. So, in that vein, yeah, Dobbs the steady guy behind him. Knows everything he needs to know. And then from there, man, you give him them opportunities. I still feel like early on, though, Dobbs should be able to get him early on until he finally figures it out. But once he figures it out, Malik is the better talent. And I think that's the big thing that's holding up Malik. But that was the issue with their offense. Malik, trying to figure it out, held the ball too long. Their offense isn't designed for improvisation. Their offense is designed for timing. Run this ball, play action pass, get it out on time. Tannehill did that perfectly, and that's why they had the success under him. Malik isn't on that stage just yet. He wasn't even doing that at Liberty. At Liberty, it was still what? He going to hold the ball. He going to improvise. He's a super athlete, and he had a crazy arm. But that's the thing with Malik. He has to get it where he's seeing it and processing it. That's what Kenny already has, and that's what makes Kenny the more pro-ready guy. And that's no different while we talk about how both of those guys have kind of played out this year. Now, granted, we know Kenny had a better opportunity in terms of just like them really buying in and it being designed for him, whereas in Tennessee, it was still supposed to be Tannehill. But in that context, it's like you can just see where both of those guys from the evaluation point still is pretty accurate right now.
Here's the interesting thing with Dobbs in Tennessee. Tannehill still under contract next year.
Mm-hmm.
Cap hit $36 million.
What's the dead?
Dead cap 18. That's a cut candidate.
That's what I'm saying. 18 is not bad.
That's an $18 million savings.
You'll live with that, bro.
Because Tennessee's going to be, I think, drafting too late to pick one of these top three guys. Now, I don't know where you consider, the fourth or fifth prospects if they could potentially be pro-ready their rookie year, like an Anthony Richardson. I forget who else is. I think Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
He's in the mix too. But after those top three, it feels like it's a little bit of a drop-off.
Yeah.
So I don't think Tennessee's going to get one of those top three, which makes this whole weird scenario of like, okay, you could bring back Tannehill at 35.
But you also
know
have to
you're getting there.
But also,
you take a risk with Dobbs.
But wait a minute.
Malik Willis, is he ready yet?
But you know what the other big difference between Malik's situation and our situation with Kenny?
What?
They didn't take him in the first round.
No.
So they can move on whenever they want to. We could not do that. We had to make sure that this scenario was going to be perfect for Kenny, which is why I said the opportunity scenario, because we have to be right on Kenny. He is our first round quarterback. They ain't take Malik in the first, so they're not as invested in Malik. So that's why you even saw them switch to Dobbs. If Malik is a first round quarterback, they not switching him out to let Dobbs get a couple goals. Nah, you going to live and die with this thing and let it go. Let it figure it out. Learn. Like we did with Kenny, right?
This is the guy you drafted to be your future,
absolutely.
Your franchise quarterback.
But the difference is they did not draft Malik there. So they're not on the hook. They could literally say, you know, we want to roll with Tannehill, and it'll be fine. They could say, we want to move on from Tannehill. And they find, even if they went and drafted somebody or went aggressive and did something else, because they ain't take him in the first round. So even though he's a development and even though he has these intangibles, because they didn't invest a lot in him, there's no guarantee that he's going to last longer than 4 years in this league just because he doesn't have that first round tag on him anymore, man.
I was thinking after that Dobbs game, like, yeah, he would be perfect to come back here, be the number 2. We trade Mitch. I am just wondering, because you brought it up, like, you know Dobbs better than me. If he got that taste, if he feels like he can maybe compete for the job somewhere, whether it's Tennessee or somewhere else, then he would rather at least just take the chance. You know, bet on yourself in a way.
Dobbs, Tennessee is the spot. It's the perfect spot.
Because you don't think after these couple games he's just content. I'm gonna go somewhere. I'll be a backup. I'll be a really good backup.
Nah, because think about it this way. I think he can push to be a starter for next year in Tennessee, very similar to Geno Smith in Seattle, where you're still competing with somebody, right? Geno had to beat out Drew. Now, granted, Drew got sick in the process, and that kind of helped Geno get the opportunity. But that would be no different if they moved on from Tannehill and it was Dobbs competing against Malik, and maybe they bring somebody else in, a mid-round guy that they draft or something like that.
Maybe Trubisky-Dobbs competition down in Tennessee.
It wouldn't if you're Trubisky. You're looking at Tennessee as well. Like, all these guys are looking at the same spots for the same
Trubisky
reasons.
would just be a younger Tannehill, really.
That's it. That's literally it. But if you're Dobbs, you're saying to yourself, hey, worst case, I know I could be the backup here. Worst case, I've already done it. So if I want to be the career backup, I've already got some good cachet.
You're not going to be the starter here in Pittsburgh.
Right. You're never going to start here in Pittsburgh. But you already have some cachet in Tennessee. You won them a game. You've shown them, like, you're capable. So didn't win them a game, but you showed them you were capable.
Yeah, their offense was a lot better with him than was with Malik Willis.
Right. So
he made some really good pro throws.
He did.
He made some mistakes with the picks and whatnot, but
even with the pick, and even with the pick, the one that they're like, yo, he underthrew it. He has the pressure coming in his face because he makes the right read. He extended the play, makes the right read. He's going. The dude is open. He just can't step into the throw. But you see all these things. This is a young quarterback as well. Didn't play a lot of football at the NFL level. So if you're Dobbs, I'm just like, man, worst case, you're the backup there. Best case, you're starting there next year, depending on who they bring in, if you could beat a guy out. But if you're Trubisky, I'm thinking the same thing. Tennessee looks good. Let's see what they do with Tannehill. Hey, if I'm Mitch, I'm cheaper than Tannehill. You already know what I can do. I'm competent. I've taken a team to the postseason. I've even won here. So you know I can handle it. I've had the crazy situation, you know, where I come here preseason and then you draft the guy one.
Did you hear his comments?
I did not. What did he say, bro? What did he say?
Regrets signing day one. Thought he signed a little too quick.
It makes sense.
Should have.
It makes sense.
Laid out the scenarios a little bit better. He said.
It makes sense. He jumped the gun. It makes sense.
Dude, no, I'm not buying it. He made the right call. I feel like
it's
just literally we drafted Kenny Pickett.
You couldn't have drafted Kenny.
Because he was in the perfect scenario if we didn't draft Kenny Pickett.
Kenny was
It could have been any other quarterback, too. We could have drafted Malik in the second and third round.
Kenny was the one quarterback that we couldn't draft that we drafted.
But Mitch couldn't have predicted that either.
No,
we were drafting 20. Yeah. It just happened.
But I think for Mitch, I think what he might be saying is this, though. If he's at any other organization, you draft any of these quarterbacks, it doesn't matter. But because you come to Pittsburgh, if they took that quarterback, it did matter. So he guessed wrong. Think about if he was in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He can't regret the decision. You just guessed wrong.
Bro, like he could have literally guessed wrong, man. He could have went to New Orleans, and New Orleans could have drafted Kenny, and it would never been a big deal because it wasn't here in Pittsburgh. He could have went to Tennessee, or excuse me, Tennessee obviously had Tannehill, but let's see who else. Who else took one of these quarterbacks, man? Yeah. Oh my God, Carolina. He could have went to Carolina, right? It would have been fine. They could have drafted everything would have been good. So Kenny, Malik, and Matt Corral. It would have been fine. It just couldn't be here in Pittsburgh. And it could have been Kenny Pickett, bro.
That was the
worst case scenario.
What were the percent chance of that happening? Like 1% or 2%?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was that slim because we knew we needed a quarterback. And
I guess knowing after the fact, Tomlin and the front office really wanted Pickett.
And also seeing how teams looked at this class. Remember, we were talking about how they viewed this class as supposed to be weak. And then it was going through that weird vibe of at first nobody was going to be a first round or high draft pick. And then it was everybody's in the top 5, top 10. And then it played out how it played out. So I think that also, was at play too. But yeah, man, I don't blame Mitch, man. Mitch said, if I could do it again, man, I'm not coming to Pittsburgh.
I don't blame him for saying, nah, I don't know, dude. Like, you made a good decision.
It was the perfect decision. The outlier.
Like, there's a reason you signed immeraately because this was a really good scenario. You were gonna have to compete with Mason.
It was an outlier scenario. You were competing with Mason and Haskins. It was never supposed to be Kenny. Yeah. It was Mason and Haskins. Think about it.
A team that has a receiving core of Claypool, Deontay,
it was Mason and Haskins that he was going to compete against. And it just so happens Haskins passes away, then we draft Kenny, and the rest is history, bro. The rest is history. So, yeah, bro.
I think he needs to give himself more credit. I think it was a fine signing. He's just playing the result.
Bro.
He's playing the result.
He's pissed. It happens.
Like, what other decision were you going to make?
It happens,
This was such a good scenario for a quarterback like him to come to.
Were you going to go to Carolina? It was dysfunction down there. They still was kind of on the hook with Darnold. Were you going to go to Cleveland? Because before then, remember, that was the debate of, is Cleveland getting Watson or is Watson going to get cleared or who do we want and all that? So it was like, would you went to Cleveland? I don't think that would have been a better scenario for you.
I think that was his hometown.
Oh.
But if if Cleveland was in the sweepstakes for Watson, that just goes to show they weren't really thinking Trubisky like that.
Absolutely. So let's see, who else is another option for him then when he was coming out last year?
In terms of quarterback, Seattle.
Oh, so he could have went on Seattle?
Texans. I don't know if Texans would have wanted him, though, because
Davis Mills,
Yeah, they were kind of on the Davis Mills train. Yeah. They didn't want to draft a quarterback. Mm-hmm. They were just going to go with him for another season.
Yeah.
Funny he said that, though.
That is funny. I get it, though.
He's gone. We're trading him.
I definitely get it. I'm telling you, bro, we said it when it got to that point, we're like, oh, would Mitch be the perfect backup? Yes. Do you think he's going to do it? Absolutely not.
Him and Mason
absolutely not. It is done,
That's
bro.
why I was thinking Dobbs.
It is done.
If Dobbs wanted to come back here and just be the steady backup, it'd be a great fit. But if he got that taste with the Titans and is thinking like, hey, at least I got a chance. Whatever the chance is. It's nothing
like that, bro.
If it's a 5 or 10% chance I could be a starter, you got to at least take the chance on yourself.
As a player, that's what we all looking for, bro. We just want a chance. Because we all feel like we're here for a reason because we've all had to overcome so much. We've all had to be dominant at something for so long to even make it to be a 1%, right? So now when you get here and it's like, bro, you mean to tell me I'm not out there just because of a politic, because of a draft, because of a contract? Like, hold on. And I feel like at times, all of us have felt like that, man. And for Dobbs, this is a scenario where it's kind of like, yo, I finally get that chance where those politics aren't all the way in play. And I got a coach here in Vrabel that also is kind of like that same mentality. Blue collar, doesn't care about what you might have done over there or what you might look like or where you were drafted. Can you ball?
The guys that he plays, bunch of no-namers. I'm like, how is this defense any good?
Honestly, though, like, as a player, you love that. That's the thing we love about Coach Tomlin. When Coach Tomlin, you get here and he's like, yo, I don't care about what means you got here. If you can play, you can play. And he will highlight James Harrison. He's like, bro, this is the dream. This is the NFL dream. Like, don't tell me I'm not 6'4", 260. Tell me, man, you're a perfect size, man. Make it work. Like, that's what I want to hear. That's Vrabel for you, bro. That's Coach T for you.
Okay. Jacob Alessio. Let's all be real. We have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, I think we got 3 picks in the top 50 or something.
Absolutely.
We've already talked about corners. We would definitely try to get someone on the line, maybe on that left side. Maybe Jordan Addison. Trucker James, tuning in from I-70.
Let's go, Trucker James. Safe travels too, baby.
West through PA and Ohio. For the first time since Mason and Duck season, I feel like we have a chance.
There it is.
Damn, dude.
He said first time since that season. I was like, wait a minute. Bro. It was a bit in there too, right?
Yeah, how about the season we were 11-0 with Ben?
That's crazy. Ooh, he took how 7 get hit on a day like today?
A shot.
How 7 get a straight on a day like today? That's crazy.
There's no reason for that.
Yeah, man, 7 didn't deserve that shot. Yo, crazy.
Skydiving heck. Who makes more of an impact on this team? Roquan Smith or DJ? He's talking about Deontay Johnson?
Yeah.
On similar salaries?
I mean, obviously, if you're comparing them in a nutshell like that, you would say Roquan. But at the same time, I would also say that I don't think Roquan would be cheaper because Roquan is on a 1-year deal and Roquan is looking for a major extension or a major contract. But I would also
multi-years, whereas Deontay, I think it's only one more year.
One
for
more
Deontay.
year at the exact
double
same.
check,
Yeah, it was a 2-year deal. It was 2 year for 36 because it was the one you called. You said 8-10 apiece. Absolutely. No, I ain't gonna never. Deep, when you have dope takes, bro, you know I'm gonna ride with it.
Thank you.
And that was one of your dope takes right there, man. So in that context, I don't think it's a better scenario, and I also don't think it makes sense to take away one of Kenny's best weapons in year 2. A proven guy that wins right away, that allows Kenny to have that safety net of, if I don't want to be aggressive and take a shot downfield to George, if I don't want to hold this ball and wait for a pat to kind of clear in the middle, if I want to just make a fast read and just get this ball out right now on a slant, I have a guy that can win. And that showed up multiple times yesterday. Like I said, it should have been 2 touchdown passes to him. They just were batted down at the line of scrimmage. But it's like, he's that type of player. He's that type of receiver. So yes, Roquan to me is a better player if we're talking just for who they are. But in terms of our scenario, salaries, and all that other stuff included, I personally still like to lean with the Deontay and rather draft a guy to come and play inside linebacker for us based on what we currently have here, because I think that what we have is already enough. We just talking about improving it or tweaking one thing here or there. Whereas to bring in a Roquan, that's going to cost a lot. That's going to disrupt some of the stuff that we're talking about.
Maybe no Ogunjobi, or maybe no Highsmith.
That's going to change some stuff right there, and I don't want to do that. Do I look like Roquan is a heck of a player? Don't get it twisted, but I just don't think that we need him as much as we need to keep this offense growing the right way that it's growing.
And just based off the market, how receivers are getting paid these days versus what inside linebackers are.
And Deontay still was a productive receiver as well. That's the other part.
Yeah.
Like,
he is. It's the most frustrating thing. Like, we got back to that point again with Deontay, where the last 2 or 3 games we've had no drops. Oh man, it's nice. No ball security issues with Deontay.
Yep.
But it's just so like you just gotta accept it. There's gonna be 1 or 2 things that pop up in a game, but then he's gonna make plays like that 2-point conversion where he cooked the dude on the route, and then that one where it was almost a touchdown pick and threw it across the field, almost gets like. He still makes awesome plays.
Still finished with 86.
It's frustrating.
Still had 86 catches, 882 yards. 10 yards a catch. Or 10.3 yards a catch, man. So
I think we're just always going to be internally just a little disappointed with him, or a little frustrated. But he's a really good receiver. I think he's going to be a borderline Pro Bowler. He's going to get 80, 90 plus receptions, close to 1,000 yards.
I would agree.
And the touchdown things could be fluky because with Ben, I think he was getting like, 8 or 9 a year with Ben?
And this is obviously the lowest he's had.
Yeah.
I feel like Deontay is one of those guys that high-end Deontay is going to have 110 catches, 1,200 yards receiving. Yeah. I think low-end Deontay is what we saw. We'll probably see 80 catches for probably like 750, 800 yards. But I think he's right in that range. I think he's going to consistently be 850 to 1,100 range. Like you said, touchdowns are kind of up in the air, but yeah, he's just proven that he's that type of receiver. So I'm cool. Like, I'm cool. I like it. Yeah.
Might get a drop or 2 here or there, but
I can live with it, man. What we call it, man? It's price of doing business, man. Price of doing business, man.
Yeah, we just have to accept he's probably not going to get to the wide receiver 1 level we hoped or anticipated, but if anything, I think he's reached his ceiling and over based off where he drafted him.
Absolutely.
As a third rounder.
But
that rules for Pickens now. The wide receiver 1 rules for Pickens, so we don't need him to be that anyway.
And we're not even paying him wide receiver 1 money. You talk about 18.
Yeah.
Man, these dudes out here getting 28s and 30s. And what you think Justin Jefferson finna get when he get his opportunity? What you think they finna get that man? I can assure they could be 18. Okay? I can assure they could be that. So, yeah, baby, we straight right now.
Come on, yeah. With the 17th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jordan Addison, wide receiver, out of Pitt. Make it happen. Omar, hashtag let's go. Out of USC/Pitt.
I mean, it did work with Burrow.
I know. Dude, I'm telling you, miles to feed. 17, that's right in his range right now, what I'm seeing in these mock drafts. So if he's there, I'm not going to front. I'm going to be thinking about it.
Well, because it's my thing. I look at Cincy. I said Cincy had Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins before they drafted Jamar Chase. And we both said Tyler Boyd and T, especially T. It was like T. Higgins is a dope receiver. Both of them dudes are really good. And you bring in Jamar Chase, and it was just like, yo, this is freaky now. But they still, Who was the tight end they had there?
Uzoma.
And so yeah. So it's like they still had all them same things that we're looking
and
at.
And they needed linemen.
Yeah.
And they skipped on them. I think it was Sua, right?
Yeah.
They skipped on Sua and took Chase.
And our offensive line, I feel like, is better than that offensive line was at this stage. So I'm with you. It wouldn't be like crazy to me if that was the move. Because you talking about add that man another weapon as Addison, Deontay, Pickett, Addison, Deontay, Pickens move. Nah, it'll get freaky. It'll be crazy. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out, man.
I'm not saying it's the smartest move.
I don't think it's the smartest move. It's definitely it's a pretty move though, but I don't think it's the smartest move. I'm with you.
Mason Nielsen, 5'5", only played 8 snaps and 3 were on special teams. Seems like we just watched Devin Bush's last snaps of Steeler football.
Yeah, that's a strong indication, man. When you start talking about those snaps dwindling down the latter part of the season, along with it being in a contract year, and you looking at the guys that are having their snaps elevated, being a guy like Mark Robinson specifically, because Spillane, he never took away snaps from Bush. He was already getting those snaps to start the season off, but it was really Robinson that started to take away from his share, which surprised me because I thought that Devin would still give him opportunity, especially with Miles down the stretch, because Miles ain't healthy. You know, he's out there, but he's not healthy. So it was like you would anticipate them at least giving Devin more of those opportunities, but I didn't even know he only had played 8. I knew he didn't play a lot yesterday, but yeah, for him to only have played 8 and 3 of them being on special teams, yeah, it's not a good indicator for him to be returning here.
And it was the same way with the Ravens, wasn't it?
It was only 5 snaps.
Or
it was 5.
Like
and he's not a special teamers either. That's the other part. Like, when we talk to like TG, when we talk about me, like we're guys that at some point in time in our careers, we had to cut our teeth covering kicks, you know, and then eventually you graduate to playing defense. But that's never been Devin's game. So yeah, doesn't send a good signal out there. But obviously we'll see what happens, man. So yeah.
Dondre Zell, since we've gotten significantly better as a team, it's harder to find team needs. What is the biggest Steelers need, and do you think we bring in any big names in free agency? O-line and cornerback.
Yeah, I think those are like the two that have really stood out to me the most. And then I'll probably say the secondary thing out after those, or the third thing after those two. I'm either looking at inside linebacker, depending on what ends up happening with Bush and with Miles and Spillane. Like, I need to know who's coming back, who's not. And then after that, probably looking at the safety position to see Edmonds and Casey, how that plays out. Because now with Casey getting another pick and flashing around, I'm like, all right, how cheap are we going to be able to keep this? Or how, under the rail we're going to be able to keep this, because you can still see the flash.
2 picks in, like...
You see what I mean?
Wait, how many games has he actually played, like, decent minutes? Like 4 games?
4 games. and we're using him in 3 safeties. So
he didn't even play that much in this game.
But we're using him in 3 safety formation, which was 4 running teams on top of that. So you get 2 picks in that type of time frame. It's like, bro, that's crazy. And if your knock was you weren't hitting, we saw you put that to rest because you was thumping stuff this season, preseason, and then obviously when you came back from the injury. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know how much cheaper that's going to be right now, man. So I need to see what that dynamic looks like, too, in terms of KZ and Edmonds. Yeah, what's that going to look like?
Come on, if they don't bring back Cam H, we riot. 10.5 sacks.
Oh, man, Cam
I just feel like he's got to be back.
That's my dog.
He's got to be that savvy veteran on this team of young guys that kind of like, you know who Cam is.
I also like the fact that he did not say, I will only play for one team. You notice he didn't put that out there, right? I like that because at the same time, it is a business and it's a negotiation. So if he comes out and he says, man, I love Pittsburgh, I'd never play for another team, you lose your leverage. Because the team knows I'm going to give him whatever I want. He already says he's not going to play anywhere else. So we good. But if Cam were to be like, hey, man, if I got to go have a AZ year, if I got to go to a Tennessee, if I got to go do one of them years, like, the AZ year. Everybody you got to go do an AZ year. If you didn't do an AZ year.
This wouldn't be good timing for the AZ year.
It would be terrible timing, but not all the way terrible. JJ is leaving. You'd be the big name. It wouldn't be terrible. It wouldn't be terrible. That's all I'm saying, bro. And Cam likes to play games. So him and Kyle would be perfect together, bro. All right. So when I think of all this type of stuff, man, I'm just like, yo, this is a good thing right now. It's a good situation. Like, I can see Cam, like, if he wanted to play hardball and the team wanted to play hardball, he'd be like, all right, I'm going out there. So very strategic also by what he did not say in that press conference. Shout out to him, man.
So we got a 6:30 hard stop here?
Technically, yes, because we got dinner plans.
Okay.
Technically.
Well, I'm just gonna say I'll try to roll through these super chats.
Oh,
we
time?
could try
it's 54. Oh yeah. All right, let's cook up, man.
We got a fair amount. We'll just be efficient with it.
We'll cook. Let's do it.
Let's go, UW. So with a potential OC search coming, how would you feel about waiting and seeing if someone shows out in the XFL starting in a month? I'm good with Canada, man.
Yes.
I didn't think those words would come out of my mouth. I'm fine with keeping Canada. So, like, I'd rather have Canada than, to his question, I'd rather just have Canada than talk about a XFL OC.
I kind of feel the same way. I'll also say this, though, because I don't want to discredit those guys that are down in the XFL, because, you know, some of them dudes,
they're
man.
Gonna be some good guys. Isn't
names,
Haley going to be one?
Yeah,
Haley's going to be head coach?
Yeah, Haley's a coach down there. Obviously, Hans Ward is down there. You know, my dog Peasy down there is coaching as well, man. So, no, we definitely respect the dudes. Don't get it twisted. My biggest thing is just the timing part. The reason why I wouldn't want to wait until their season ends is because now I'm asking how much off-season prep have we lost in terms of when the season ends, when we're going out, or when the team is going out and they're going to pro days, they're checking out bowl games, they're checking out all the combine stuff, right? They're looking for players that are going to fit what we do. They're fitting our scheme. But if we are essentially schemeless because we don't have a coach, because we're waiting on one of these guys to open it up, that could hinder us, so to speak, during those processes, man. That could also hinder us in terms of just fine-tuning what we want to improve upon. One of the big things of having sustained success at this level is self-scouting, knowing what you do well and what you struggle with, and being able to maximize what you do well and minimize what you struggle in. Well, January is a huge month for coaches to figure that out. This is when they get a chance to really sit back and say, hey, we're not game planning for another team now. We get to actually game plan ourselves. How would I attack me? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What makes me scared? What makes me, you know, like I'm a meal ticket over here. Like, what's the difference of it? That's all that you're doing right now as well. So that's the big reason for me why I don't want to wait until the XFL season would be finished to decide on who we want to hire. And now we're playing the negotiation game, and now everything is just rapid. I just don't think that's a good scenario for us right now.
Scott Mitchell. Oh, look at this. 3 likes for the season. KP8, edge rushers, RBs.
Ooh.
3 dislikes. Losing big to Super Bowl contenders.
Okay.
Left side of the O-line and Canada. Future looking bright, though.
Let's go.
Oh, wait. I skipped it. Hold on. That was one.
You did.
Way.
Okay. It's all good.
Well, I got that out of the way. That's like 3 or 4 away, right?
But that was a dope one. Yep, you're good, though.
Autumn McCaddy. I think I clicked the wrong
you're back
thing.
now. You're back. Yep.
I'm proud the Steelers finished the season on a high note. It's give Steelers Nation hope for the future.
Yeah.
I definitely feel Kenny Pickett is the guy.
I would agree, man. I would definitely agree, Autumn. And the optimism should be there. And not just because we talk about it. And that's the other part. Like, don't just think that because I say it or because Deke said that you should take it as gospel. Nah, they're showing it. You've seen how you watch this team in the first half of the season versus the second half of the season. You've seen wins and losses first half of the season versus second half of the season. How many 4-game winning streaks do we have in that first half of the season, Deke?
0.
How many 3-game winning streaks do we have in the first half of that season, Deke? You know what I'm saying?
I guess 0.
Yeah, man. It wasn't good. It was not good. But now you see the growth. You see the improvement. So that is the big reason why we're like, yes, we all should be on this train. But we just cheerleaders up there, man. Yeah. We just showing off what they showing us. They showing us the way, baby. They showing us the way. We just giving a little support.
Steeler Nation on fire. Matt Canada's job is on the line. Kenny chose to keep Canada or let Canada walk. I guess he's throwing a hypothetical. If it's up to Kenny, what's he doing? I think Kenny says
Kenny
keep Canada.
Keep him. Yeah. Like I said, the only people who had issues with Canada were fans and media, man. Like, that's just how it go. Players, you're not looking at them dudes. And I think we talked about that too last podcast. Like, the fans, players don't look at coaches as like, man, we need to fire this dude. Not young players, excuse me on that one.
Especially with him having an existing relationship with Canada already.
Yeah. Like,
and then them having success together as the season has gone on.
Like, for me, when you're an older player, you feel some type of way, you feel strongly about it, but it's very rarely it's with a guy that you have a prior relationship with or have grown with. Like, they got a relationship from college, they got a relationship this season where they actually grew together and won together. as a player, our minds aren't geared like that where we're going to look at him and only focus on flaws. He's in the same fight that we're in. So we looking at him like, bro, you in this same foxhole with me, so to speak. Like, when everybody else was doubting you, I believed in you. When everybody else was doubting me, you believed in me. So now that we've actually seen this thing come out and we're on the other side of it, now I'm going to look at you and say, nah, I don't want him no more. That ain't how we work as players, man. That's not how the coaches work. That's a fan thing. That's a media thing, man. Trust me on that one.
Dondre Zoe. Brian Flores already getting asked about Coach T. Said people in the NFL forget fast. Huh? A year ago, he was about to get canceled like Colin K? Oh, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What happened here? Did Brian Flores do an interview or something?
I don't know.
Talk about Mike T?
Like I said, I told you, I'm behind the 8 ball.
I don't know about this. I just know about Flores getting that interview request for the Browns.
Or maybe he's just saying this figure of speech like, man, y'all be forgetting about how good he is. Or
as a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was happy we picked him up.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable value for us.
And he's saying, because remember a year ago he was about to get canceled like Colin Kaepernick, and now he's getting opportunities to be a head coach again or get an interview for a DC spot. So
I thought he should have been a head coach last year after the Dolphins
we both
fired
said
him.
It, bro.
So for him to come on the staff as a defensive assistant was house money.
Absolutely. And you heard even when Spillane came on the show and he talked about it, he was like, what? Man, having Coach Flo is like having another head coach out there. And it's real, man. When you're able to have a former head coach be your position coach, I had it with Dave Wannstedt. That was one of the best times I had in terms of just being able to pick his brain on certain things. You're like, bro, how do you be knowing this? Like, but you just see it differently. You see from a bigger perspective, whereas position coaches typically are so hyper-focused on that position that they're not able to have a greater perspective or a broader perspective. So, no, man, it's definitely, I like it.
Steeler Nation on fire. Is Lovie Smith an offense or defense-minded coach?
I would say defensive-minded. But I don't know. I don't really follow Lovie like that. I wasn't like a Bears
he's
fan.
Definitely defense.
Yeah, I would say defense, though.
Yeah, definitely defense. Vincent Martinez in the 707. Even though missing the playoffs sucks, in all honesty, this team has developed as expected and very excited to see what it looks like next year.
Facts.
Next dynasty.
Let's go. I'm telling you, man, after Buffalo win the Super Bowl this year, man, it's Pittsburgh's run next year, bro. Like, I'm with it, bro.
I have no answer. No response.
You could just say, I agree.
I can't agree with that. I agree with the latter half.
So you agree then. You agree. That's what we need.
It's Pittsburgh's time. I'm not saying anything about Buffalo and Super Bowl.
Earmuffs. You can't say bad words up here, man. Earmuffs, bro. Earmuffs. All right.
This is the time of year for me where I'm just sitting back and hoping for good football games.
You're going to get great football games, man. Make sure you tune in Sunday, 1 o'clock. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Western New York, baby. It's going down.
Steelers aren't in it. Doesn't matter to me.
It's all good, man. Hey, they got a Pitt player, though. We're doing it for DeMar. We're going to win the Super Bowl for DeMar this year, baby. Winning for DeMar.
Brian McPherson.
No. Winning for DeMar. We're winning the Super Bowl for DeMar this year. What's up, baby? Can you get behind winning the Super Bowl for DeMar? Can you get behind doing it for DeMar? Can you do it for DeMar? Put your threes up.
Now you're putting me in a tough spot.
Oh, no. And he's from Pitt.
I told you.
He's from Pitt.
I told you, DeMar Hamlin support.
We're doing it for DeMar then.
Versus Bill support is exclusive. Like they're not. They don't have to be together.
We want to see DeMar Hamlin win the Super Bowl this season. Then
I just want to see DeMar Hamlin healthy and good
with the Super Bowl ring.
I don't think the Bills have any bearing on that.
Yes, they absolutely do. You heard him. He said, "Hey man, when the team ball out, it make them feel better." Everybody know that. What we talking about here? Everybody know that. Okay, we're doing it for threes. Do it for the three. All right.
I'm not going there.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Not going there.
Hey, look, y'all know if it wasn't for the situation here, you know what I'm saying, it'd be a little different. You know, we want to be as supportive. But I have to support this movement because I'm a player who, like I said, man, I've experienced some tragedies at this level. I understand that a little bit more, so I'm just leaning all the way into it, baby. I just want DeMar and the Buffalo Bills to know they have Arthur Most III full support. Going for it. Full support. At least the rest of this season. I will never say a bad thing about them this season. Okay? I won't say anything bad about the Steelers. Like I said, still, man, if we was in it, I'd have us win it all. You know that.
I don't know.
But unfortunately, we're not.
I don't know what to believe.
So I just got to roll with it, bro. It's all good.
Who'd you pick for the Super Bowl way back before the season?
I don't remember. No comment. I don't remember.
Yeah. No, I'm not on this. I'm not on this.
Yeah, on the DeMar train. Okay, you don't want to support DeMar.
No, that's fake news. I support DeMar getting
winning
healthy.
the championship this year and getting healthy.
No, not like that.
That's crazy.
No, not like that.
That is crazy.
I support DeMar getting healthy.
That is crazy.
Prayers up for DeMar.
I just support him.
That has nothing to do with the Bills.
I'm supporting him 100%.
Has nothing to do with the Bills.
I support him all the way, around the clock, 100%. Yep.
I think DeMar actually wants Pitt to do well. Like in terms of priorities.
Yeah, that's fine.
He wants Pitt hoops. He wants Pitt football.
He has another Pitt player on his teammate up there too. It's all good, man. It's all good. He ain't tripping. Either way, man. However you want to slice it. Just think about when he come back to the city of Pittsburgh and he had that ring going, and it's like, bro, I'm healthy. I got the ring, and I'm here back in the city, and it's held the Pitt on top of that, bro. It's gonna be a zoo. It's gonna be a movie, bro. We down here. It's gonna be nuts. That's what I'm saying, man.
Nah, the only rings that matter here are the Steelers. The Steelers Super Bowl rings.
I'm with you. But it's like an outlier. This is a one-off situation. You know, we're not asking this every year. No, but just this one year. It's different. So I just have to lean into it. That's all.
All right.
We're doing it for DeMar.
All right.
Doing it for DeMar.
You got it. All right, then you got it then.
Yeah.
So I'm
we
not
got
leaning
it. We got it.
That's not that's not me.
This podcast is supportive of
No. Don't wrap me into it.
I just love the fan. I love how that true fan won't let you. I just love it, Deke. I love it. I love it.
It's funny. There's a dude might be listening right now.
Yeah.
He's up in the stands. I'm walking up after grabbing a beer. Like, he recognized me. Mm-hmm. He had a Bills jacket on with like a Bills hat.
Hey.
And then I think he had a Steelers jersey on underneath.
Facts.
And he's like, "Oh, Deke, what's up, man?" I ripped him to shreds. I said, "Get that Bill shit off. Like, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, you fake fan, huh?" I was like, "Yeah, come on, dude." He's like, "It's for DeMar." I was like,
DeMar.
Put the Steelers stuff
DeMar,
on top.
bro.
Come on,
DeMar,
get this out of here.
It's for DeMar, man.
It's what it is. I mean,
that's the answer every time. Now, it's for DeMar. You know, because you can't say that negative. It's for DeMar.
I agree.
You can't say that negative, bro.
Like I said, support DeMar Hamlin, but it has nothing to do with the Bills. It's a tough point in the season. For me, once the Steelers are out of it,
you just gotta. I'm just supporting them all the way.
Just watching football, and like I don't care about any of these results. It sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yep.
I got no root and interest.
Yep.
Just let's see some good football games. Let's see some interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sunday 1:00, man. I got you.
Is that when the game is? The Bills game? The Dolphins.
Yeah.
Is Tua playing?
It don't matter.
I'm wondering. Are they tossing Tua out there?
Say, who you want to put out there? Fresh fish on the line. Who you want to put out there, baby?
What I'm wondering,
who you want to put out there, man?
Do you think there's actually a chance they play him?
Honestly, I think no, because of how much flack they have already gotten around the handling of the first concussion, and then to see the traumatic look of the second concussion. Was that at Cincinnati as well when it happened? The second one? On Thursday? Yeah.
That might have been the first. Yeah. That was the second one.
Yeah, because the first one was in Buffalo. And that's when he had on the short week, Thursday night, Cincinnati. Bro,
yeah.
Bro, something about that field, bro. Y'all got to stay up out of there, bro. That's crazy. I ain't going to put that on Cincinnati. But, bro, that is low-key crazy. That's crazy. All right, man. Shout out to them players, bro. They've been going through some trauma mentally, what they been experiencing out there. Lord have mercy. But, yeah, and then to have the third one. And remember how McDaniel was talking about him just last week? He was like, yo, the main focus for Tua is to just focus on what day it is. I was like, yo, that don't sound like a dude you need to be putting back out there against this Buffalo Bills team. Bro, you know what they on right now? Come on, man. They doing it for DeMar. Team doing it for DeMar. That's a scary team. That's when we did it for Shazier, remember? We do it for Shazier. They do it for DeMar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just got to roll with it, man. Just roll with it.
Ryan McPherson. Moats, you're totally right about positivity. More in Steeler Nation need to have this mindset, but mental change is difficult. I.e., AB, or even yay.
Very true. Very true. Which is why you just focus on putting your positive energy out there and controlling what you can control. You put enough positive energy out there, man, I think it's contagious. I do feel like that. I think it's magnetic, man, because people want to have a good time. So they're going to ultimately or naturally gravitate to that. And for the naysayers, the negative ones, they got their faction as well, but, you know, to each their own. But I definitely like to walk on this side, man. I'm more of a sunshine than a dark time person.
Brilliant92, I criticized this team heavy this season. They proved me wrong in a few ways. We have a nice young core, and I have high hopes for next season. 7-2.
I salute you, Brilla, man. You already know it's major love. You know the thing I wish, I'm not this petty, but I wish I was sometimes. The bye week. If I could just go back in time and get all the people that was like, yo, we're going to have a losing season, or yo, we suck, or yo, we're going to be tanking, or yo, we're going to finish in the top 5 draft pick, and just be like, yo, man, this is what we talking about, man. Why y'all was tripping like that? But I ain't that type of guy.
Scott Forador, I haven't felt this optimistic and excited going into an offseason, especially after missing the playoffs.
There it is.
Ever. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
There it is. Because usually us missing the playoffs, it was a lot more like negative context because we've had been here. So something would have had to been like really off for us not to be in the postseason. Whereas I think this season, because of everything that was at play, I think that's also why it's a real difference of opinion right now and why we do carry this type of optimism right now, even though we still aren't playing for what the ultimate goal is, which is still winning a Super Bowl. Don't ever get that twisted. Don't ever lose sight of that. That is not changing. But in terms of the context of where this team is at, that is truly why we feel the positivity that we're feeling right now.
Jacob Alessio says, I can do that for you, Moats. I will tweet out the names.
Chill, bro. You got to chill. He put it in all caps, too.
Official Momentum. Hey, glad you're okay, Deke and Moats. Hashtag comeback in 2023, 2024.
No, man. Salute you, man. Salute you.
Sal.
Oh, yeah, because he did ask about you. He was like, yo, is Deke all right?
That was good. I'm good.
Yeah. He's alive. And he's not locked up. I still can't believe we had that whole situation, bro.
True.
Bro, we be having some crazy moments. Let's get it.
Sal, when do you think we will win the Super Bowl? Next year.
There you have it. There you have it.
ASAP. As soon as possible.
I like it. If not next year, I would just say it's hard to predict when the Super Bowl, bro. So much has to go right, man. Luck, health, timing.
I think we have a Super Bowl window.
I have a window. I
really do. I believe it.
Mine, low-key, I was like 5. I kept thinking on mine. We got a 5-year window right now, bro.
I feel like with Kenny being on this rookie contract, though, this is the time to take advantage.
But that's what I'm saying. Because you got the first 4, and then you got that option, or if we're signing him, and before, you know how like when Mahomes signed his big deal, when he signed it that first year, the money didn't like kill the cap until the following. I feel like it's that scenario. You got a solid 5 to make it happen. We know how when you're talking postseason and winning and getting to the actual Super Bowl, everything has to go right because it is that fine. It is that minute in the sense of what can sway you one way or the other. But I do think we will have a window, man. I do.
Jason Hess. Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the league. The players, the staff, and the organization believe. I am so excited for our future. Never bet against Tomlin.
Nah, facts, man. You got, like I said, we got one of the best in to do it. One of the best guys to do it, and one of the best guys who have ever done it at this level. So yeah, man, we don't have to go and get crazy searching for something that we already have that other people are searching for. Absolutely. And I think we had missed one. I'm tapping here real quick. Sean McCartney, he says, how often do you see rebuilding and having a rookie QB have a winning season? I called the season to be over, and I couldn't be happier to be wrong. Nah, salute you on that, Sean McCartney. And yeah, man, it isn't crazy for people at some point in time this season to have lost a little bit of hope because we are not accustomed to this team looking how they did at times. But this is also that awesome feeling that you can get if you were able to stick with it through those times because you got a chance to start to see that narrative shift. You got a chance to see the story start to change. It's no different when you're watching your favorite movie or reading your favorite book. It's parts of that book or that story where you're like, man, it ain't looking good, bro. And if you cut it off right there, it's like, man, you could miss out on when it did shift and then it did have that, oh, we're there now and everybody gets to feel good again. We just stuck with it, man. And that's why we feel the way that we do right now, because we can truly highlight the things that they were doing and how drastically different it was from the first half of that season.
He's right, though. That type of stuff doesn't happen too much.
Bro, it doesn't, man.
Andrew Luck, whenever he came in, got the Colts back in the playoffs, winning season. Big Ben, this was after. I don't think we were in a rebuild or anything, but we
missed the playoffs.
We were 6-10 the year before. We draft Big Ben. He gets the start after week 2 because Maddox goes down, and we make the playoffs there.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, he had to survive Urban Meyer last year, and now first year takes the team to the postseason. So
yeah, there's all I'm saying with this, and I think that's what he's hinting at is we got something here.
I would agree.
I feel like we got something.
I would definitely agree.
Thomas Dowdy. The killer bee killed us. If Boz made his kicks, we'd be in. Great work by Tomlin dealing with all the adversities.
What?
Now, I can't... In 2018, I could point to Boz missed kicks and say, literally, he was directly related to us losing like 2 or 3 games, and that's why we missed the playoffs.
But he was hurt, though. He was hurt.
I don't know if I could say that for this year. He did miss kicks. I don't know which ones were directly related to us losing, because the one he got blocked against the Ravens, sure, but I'm not saying that's on Boz.
He was blocked. That's the thing. How do you feel about block kicks? Do you put the block kick on the kicker, or is that on the protection?
I don't know why we didn't stop Calais Campbell. Just let's not let him jump up like that.
Yeah, that's what I always think about that. I'm like, how is that on the kicker? Yeah.
He missed kicks in the Bills game.
I mean, that was a situation. It's hard to, you know how that go, man. When you play in Buffalo, it happens.
Matthew Wright missed a couple. That was in the Saints game.
Yeah. He missed against Baltimore this last time, but that's because Tucker was over
We still
there.
won. That's what I mean. We still won.
It wasn't like a loss. Yeah.
Missed in the Raiders game, won that one.
18 is the year I think of.
Yeah,
that's me the most.
18, it was egregious. Yeah.
Right.
It
but
was
once
him,
again, he was hurt, though.
It was him missing those field goals, and then James Conner fumbling in way too many inopportune times.
You had the Mink. You had AB Mink last game of the season.
So we still won that one, but it was just bad vibes.
It was all
Juju
around.
fumbled in the Saints game.
The Denver Broncos game as a whole.
James Conner fumbled in that.
You
and
had the
Grimble.
Conner, you had the Grimble, and then you had the pick. And then everything that transpired with the media afterwards, when Ben gets on the thing and he's like, "Yo, if he ran the route a little, this, yes, bruh, yes." It was all chaos that year, bruh.
That year was the opposite of this year. I think we started out 7-2.
Yes.
And then we finished at 9-6.
Because that was the same year where Vince stiff-armed the cat in Tampa. Yeah. Started all hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Broncos game, it shifted, bro. After that Broncos game, it started going downhill.
Yeah, that team was still good. I still hold true to that because we beat the Patriots in the regular season. They ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Joe Hayden with the pick to end it.
The Saints went to the NFC Championship.
Should have beat them on a two questionable calls in that thing.
Yeah, questionable call against Joe Hayden, Juju fumbling. Like, that was a good team. It's just
and my dog Rosie.
Yeah,
first down. Love my dog. Love my dog. Yeah, man.
All right, Thomas Dowdy just talked about balls there. Official momentum says February 10th, Ambition at Rivers.
Pull up, gang.
Deke should be OC.
Pull up. Ooh, all right.
828 style. If I see anyone else saying fire Tomlin, I'm reporting. Ryan McPherson. I was joking about Flacco sabotaging us, by the way.
He definitely sabotaged us, though. It's all good. He did.
Jacob Alessio. Flacco is the worst QB ever to win a Super Bowl.
But he's still elite, though.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think you got to have Brad Johnson in the mix, maybe even Nick Foles.
Ooh,
I'd take Foles probably.
I was going to say, yeah, I got to go Foles. Foles
over Flacco in terms of the worst QB. Trent Dilfer's in the mix. Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking I'm trying to think of any, because then you're starting to go back 90s, 80s, 70s. Didn't the dude with Washington, Mark, was there one quarterback that came in out of the blue and then like almost like a Nick Foles scenario? Like he came in halfway.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Mark Rippon, was he actually good?
I mean, it could be. I don't remember off the top of my head though, bro. Yeah.
He's probably maybe top 10.
I just feel like Flacco's game isn't to beat you like throw in and throw out. He's big arm, so he's either gonna connect on the deep bomb or he gonna get the PI. Like, I want Phil flipping PI Joe Flacco. That's the one that I like. Where he just throw that thing 100 yards and you got a whole super. Like, seriously, that's the one I like, bro. That's how he do it. Yeah, that's Joe Flacco.
James Jeffers, Moats, Connor Hayward, told you, and folks need a lid.
Yes. You seen him, bro? He got hands. He can get after it. He could definitely get after it. He got busy out there, man. Salute the homie, man. I was proud of him, man. Personally, obviously, because, you know, that's the young dude. You know what I mean? Like, love to just see what he was able to do. Just, like I said, since I've actually known him for a little while now. But then to see him as a football player, the alumni side is like, yo, that was dope. Like, just the growth. And for him to, you know, not be a high drafted guy, not to, you know, be viewed initially as somebody that could have that type of impact offensively or even on special teams. A lot of people was kind of like, you know, that's just the bloodline pick. We get it. But no, he actually did hold his own, man, produce, and I was super proud of it, man. So shout out to the dog, Connor Hayward, right there, man, putting in that work. And I'm excited to see what he does next season as well.
Oh, yeah. Dondre Azell. I don't know, for some reason, man, I'm more excited about the 2 draft picks in the second round we got over the first round pick. Seems like we hit more in the second and third rounds.
Hey, sometimes round number 2 better than round number 1. You know how that
I mean,
go.
if we're
Yeah.
drafting a receiver in the
saying?
second or third round, it's always going to work out.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that second round hit, Deke. Sometimes you need that second round. And sometimes the first round cool, but you're like, hold on, man, let me go back for that second time. And if you really love it, you go back for a third time. Oh, we talking about the draft. My bad. I'm with y'all too. Yep. I'm with you. Mm-hmm.
I feel like our draft looks amazing right now.
I would agree.
They showed the Lions draft from this last year. That looks really good too. They got James Houston. Remember we were talking about him?
Yep.
Out of Jackson State. Like, oh man, this could be a good like edge rush guy.
Yeah.
Like as a depth guy maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He was tearing it up for them.
Yeah, because he played
I think
hard,
they got
bro.
him in like the 4th or 5th round.
He plays hard, bro.
That would have been sick. But I mean, you can't get everyone. Their draft, I think our draft looks unreal right now.
Mm-hmm.
Our first 3 picks: Pickett, Pickens, Leal. We still got to see Austin. Then Mark Robinson. Who else did we draft? Connor Hayward.
Hayward,
That's an unreal draft. Oladokin, he went over to the Chiefs, or he's on someone else's practice squad. But
and literally,
and then Warren as an undrafted guy. That's an unreal draft.
But think about it. If the trade-off for the Oladokin pick was you hit on Jaylen Warren as an undrafted guy,
yeah, it's the trade-off.
Bro, it's a dub. Like, you won across the board right there, man. Absolutely.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
JS just says, I love you guys.
I love you too. How about that? Let's go.
Sammy Buckets. Twitter is crying about the CPR sack celebration.
Yeah, they ain't read the room. But they've been doing it. That's their celebration. They totally didn't read the room, though. As soon as I said it, I'm like, Lord, dog, oh, no, stop it. Lord, no, don't do it. Stop. Ah. And then I'm like, y'all got the Bills score up as well.
Meanwhile,
this is going
and
on.
it's Highsmith, too, where, like, he's the last dude to ever do anything like that.
Of course.
He's like the nicest guy out.
But I'm like, yo, he's laying and somebody else is pushing, so it's a 2-parter. I'm like, yo, who was pushing? Let's talk about that.
Who was it?
I don't know. I ain't want to look. But
was it Cam? I don't know.
I ain't want to know. I didn't want to know, so I could really be like, I don't know. But it was a 2-parter, and it wasn't a 1 pump either. It's kind of like the old Key and Peele skit. It was 1, 2, 3. They was in that thing.
It wasn't like they did it one time and like, oh shit, we can't do that.
No, they was like, lean into it, hit me again. Oh, hit me once. Oh, I ain't there yet. Oh, I'm like, oh God, no. And then of course, you know, the media, they gonna try to run with it to make it more than that. But hey, if you want to be negative and put negative energy out there, that's the effort, that's the direction you go. But at the end of the day, we know that was not their intent, and we know the people involved in it were not malicious, man. So it's just bad timing more than anything, man. But they do that though, bro. Yeah.
JS. Tomlin is the one who hired Canada and started Trubisky, but he rallied us back.
Mm-hmm.
Canada bat outside of 20 in the red zone, and point he puts up, very bad. I don't think like I said earlier, I don't think some of the red zone miscues or our lack of scoring in the red zone this second half could be all directly related to Canada. There's been some stuff that the players have done as well.
Yeah, that's how I feel, man. But in terms of Canada bat outside 20 in red zone,
they're saying that Marvin Leal was doing the pushing.
Oh, the young boy! Shout out to Leal. Now that y'all said Leal too, it just made me think of something. I saw this in the comment section, because I did the Mark Robinson film session, right? So shout out to everybody that's tapped in on that too. But I think it's the first play up there. I'm so focused on Mark. I'm breaking down this play. Apparently, DeMarvin didn't have so good of a play. So I start looking in the comment, and they like, yo, dang, y'all see the rookie, y'all see DeMarvin. So I'm like, let me just go look and see what happened. Bro, Patrick Ricard. He's lined up at tight end, 1-on-1 with DeMarvin.
Should be a mismatch for DeMarvin.
Bro, he put pancake on it. He put syrup on that boy.
Damn.
Extra butter. He had chocolate chips on that thing, blueberries on that thing. Bananas.
You didn't notice that at all while you were doing it?
I was oblivious because when I watch it the first time, like I might see it, but then after that, when I'm going back and I'm cutting up and I'm just looking specifically at that player, bro, I will black out on everything else and just be like, yo, let me see footwork, handwork, helmet. Like, I want to know, who are you? What are you thinking on this play? So when I talk about it, I can like speak with confidence and conviction on it. But with that, because it happens like towards the end of the play, Mark then read this, bounced back over here, and then makes a tackle. So my eyes aren't even thinking about what the backside DN is doing, who was in a 6 technique on a extra. It was not an extra line, it was a tight end. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, oh man, ain't nothing over there. So I'm just going through about the mark, da-da-da-da. And when I went, and they said in the comment, I looked at that play, I'm like, yikes. Now, granted, DeMarvin definitely had recovered afterwards, but, bro, it looked bad. Like, bro, it looked bad. If I would have known it like that, I probably would have put a different play up there. Like, because I'm one of them, like, swear, I'm one of them dudes, like, I don't want a guy to look bad on my account. Like, I don't want to be the guy that, like, highlighted, oh, yeah, he got trashed right here. Moats put it up there, like, oh, no, it's plenty of people out there that's going to do that. That's not my energy. But I just did not see it, bro, until after the fact. And I'm like, yo, he was bad, bro. Yeah, it was bad. He got folded up nice.
It happened.
Yeah, bro. Yes.
T.Y., the great one. A little sore about the Steelers not making the playoffs, but you couldn't ask for more growth from this team.
Oh, facts. Let's get it, man. Facts.
Yeah, good way to put it. The Funky Seahead, excited about Connor Hayward's future. Hashtag / 2.0. I mean, he ain't getting any QB snaps.
Hey, don't tell you what Kennedy got in his bag, man. He might have one of them in his bag. Send Kenny out the back off the jet sweep with the Derek Watt fake, and then Connor Hayward bomb pass. Come on, man. Yeah, he got something in his sleeve. He got something like that.
I'm trying to think who has the best arm on offense outside of Pickett. Like if we had to do some type of trickeration play, like we had Randall Well back in the day,
and then it was AB after that. AB was filthy with the lefty too. You seen it? Act like it won't hit.
And then it kind of stopped after we did the one with Jalen Samuel back in 2019.
When we got greedy,
we stopped trying to do that.
We got greedy,
and rightfully so. I don't know if we have an untapped guy in this lineup that could do something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure either Pickens or Deontay. Most of the time, them freaky wide receiver athletes like that, they usually are like great at everything. Yeah. Oh, he could play QB, he could dunk, he could shoot, he could guard, he could play like they're athletes. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Maybe we get Najee on those Derrick Henry vibes.
Ooh, Calvin, you got it. Gentry.
Oh yeah.
Good call. Absolutely.
He's too slow for any of those trickeration things, though, huh?
It would have to be like a double pass, like a run misdirection, everybody over here, and then we throw it back over here, and then he.
I get what you're saying.
Like something like 100%.
that.
Kind of like what the Chiefs did. It got called back, but you saw when they like ran in the circle, and then it was like go this way, throw it back this way, then throw it. Yeah,
that was bad, dude.
But they do that. They filthy like that.
That was bad.
That's how you could tell though they on something. Like this is not the first year of them doing crazy stuff, but it's like they low key have gotten to that point where they really just be doing whatever out there. Like, son, this is the NFL, the most professional, the highest of like intensity. And these fools really was like, bro, we finna play ring around the rosy on a trick play and then hit him on a touchdown. Oh, you call it back? Don't worry. We're going to score the next play. Yeah, they different, bro.
Camonier, I wanted us to fire Canada. I thought he'd never improve, but he did. Could he be better? Yes. But if we're only looking at the second half of the season, he was a good OC. Kenny clearly is more comfortable, too.
No, facts.
William McClung. Are Allen and Lamar better than Burrow? I'd go Josh Allen, Burrow, than Lamar.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If all three are healthy, I go Allen, Lamar, Burrow. But I personally don't think you could pick a wrong one. I think all three bring a different dynamic and all three are elite. But yeah, I think it's personal preference. For me, I like guys that are scary when they run. And Lamar and Josh are scary. I think Lamar is scary because of the speed. I think Josh is scary because of the size, the speed, and just, he's a little bit more of a durable guy. But then Joe is the better passer of all three of them. And Joe is definitely tough as nails, but at the same time, Josh tough as nails. And Josh, Josh got that, cool, he one of the homies type vibe, too. Man, very similar to Joe. I don't know, man. I like them all. Oh, yeah, I ain't complaining about any of them. Because Lamar just as dope, too.
Those are all three top 10 quarterbacks I'd say right now.
Yeah.
The thing's hurting Lamar right now is just him being hurt over this final stretch.
That's it. And now the whole debate is this intentional or is it not intentional?
They're saying he's going to be back for the playoffs.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, and we'll see what he looks like when he comes back, too, man. But, yeah, I don't think, any of those three, I don't think you can go wrong with whatever order you put it. I think it's more personal preference.
Funky Seahead, Najee, Warren, and Hayward in the wishbone could open up a lot of creativity for an OC. Yes, I said the wishbone. What you think? Also, Robinson has potential.
I hate the wishbone, man. That's like the military academies. And it reminded me of when I was back at high school, Churchland High School. We played this school called Western Branch. They were like our rivals, so to speak. Not really, because they would always whoop us, but they ran that wishbone, and yeah, I was not a fan of it. So I'm not a wishbone guy.
Joseph Shockley, how would y'all feel about promoting Brian Flores to OC and kick Matt out? I feel like I know he is mainly known for his defensive play calling, but he knows football.
Yeah, it worked with the Patriots.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that path.
Man, the Patriots look great on offense this year, man. They did that. They brought in Matt Patricia and said, hey, look, man, you great at calling defensive calls. Man, get on over there on offense, man. Do the same thing. So, yeah, I don't see why that's an issue at all. No.
Nope. I'll keep Canada. Justin Blitzberg, let's go Steeler Nation. Do you think Ben would consider to come back as a backup for 1 year? No. If we get rid of Mitch, since Kenny and Ben have a dope relationship together, question mark. Hashtag Big Deke Energy, hashtag Don't Cross the Moats, hashtag Sabotage7. No. Are you kidding me?
Yo, Deke couldn't even finish reading the...
That's even more far-fetched than the whole have Ben be OC conversation.
Deke couldn't even finish reading the comment.
Hell
My
no.
dog said to be a backup, no. Shout out to my homie, bro. Let's go.
I'm not wrong.
Oh, man. You're not wrong, but that is just hilarious, though, bro. Yeah, but you're definitely not wrong.
Jonathan McDormand. Could Deke beat a cheetah 1v1? No.
You don't think so?
No.
What? It's one animal here? It's only one animal's coming out of this cage, right?
I'm probably done.
Bro, Spillane, you heard how Spillane spoke on it. Why can't you do it?
I mean, my best bet is to try to befriend the cheetah. That's my best bet.
He's a play dead. Just play dead, bro.
Yeah, maybe that too. That's my best bet. I'm making it out.
So you keep it a G real then, huh? You on your George Pickens?
Yeah.
All right. I thought the Spillane talk had got you encouraged to be all about business.
Now, me believing in a Dotson or someone else to beat a cheetah, that's a different story. Me personally, hell no.
You don't have a chance.
There's no chance.
Why?
I think
you're
maybe
bigger than a cheetah,
maybe one of these linebackers or a guy like.
But you're
Dotson.
bigger than a cheetah, though, bro.
No.
You're a lot bigger than a cheetah, bro.
No. I mean, Banner even brought up at the time like a pit bull or something. Like I don't even know if I'd last with that. I'm serious.
What if you're on the claws? What if you got the white claws in your system?
I don't think that's gonna help.
Because it's gonna numb you a little bit to the pain.
It depends on how much.
Okay.
Maybe 2, fine. But if I'm overboard and really drunk, no. That's just a huge liability.
Jeez. All right.
Mike Hood, I'm excited for year 2 with this young offense. Our rookie class was pretty damn good.
Salute. Absolutely. I'm with you.
Okay. Hold on.
Should just be one left, right?
I think there is. Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I think we're caught up.
Yeah.
Mike Schroeder. Bro, the growth from the first half to the second half, next year going to start the greatest dynasty.
Let's get it, man. You know I'm down for it. You absolutely know I'm down for it. Oh, shout out to Steeler Nation on fire. I looked on at the regular chat. You know what he just put in there?
632. We did a pretty damn
He said
good
it's
job.
630 most. Hey, good call. Great call. Don't get me jammed up in these streets, man. I love my wife. I love my marriage, man. I ain't trying to get kicked out for recording for too long. All right. So this was a good vibe though. And we back in the saddle on Wednesday, man. We ain't even tripping, baby, because that's the other thing with this show, man. We year round. We keep this thing rolling. So you already know, man. We're gonna keep diving through this stuff, man.
I'm sure something's gonna happen in terms of Steeler news.
Well, and
there's
not even Steeler
be some
news.
type of rumor.
Yeah,
popping
whether
up.
it's Steeler news popping up, but even more so when we started to deep dive and just kind of go back and evaluate certain things more intimately as well, because that's also how we are able to come up with a better idea of who we think this team should be bringing in or not bringing in and stuff like that. So yeah, man, we're gonna tap into all of that, man, and we definitely gonna continue to have fun with y'all. Also, y'all see this is episode 393. That means we almost at the episode 400. So we definitely gonna be doing something fun for that one as well, man. So, you know, like I said, man, y'all keep rocking with us. We're gonna keep rocking with y'all. But as always, it's time to give me some dinner with the fam.
People are asking what is for dinner.
Well, we're going out to eat. I'm not gonna say where because I don't want people to know.
You could let us know Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll say it on Wednesday. Yeah.
What time Wednesday? 4 o'clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be 4 o'clock, right? Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, Jacob Molesky.
Yeah. 4 o'clock Wednesday. Yeah, it's not Friday because you know what I'm saying. We ain't hitting the road, so we good.
I thought we did Thursday podcast.
Oh yeah.
Wednesday.
So we could do
That's
it.
nothing. Why did you say that? We don't even do a podcast on Thursday.
Sometimes, I'm just making. I was just clearing the air just in case. Just in case. Proactive. Let's be proactive, man. But anywho, We appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Y'all stay safe out there. All right, hit the like button, subscribe on the way out, and until next time, baby.
Peace.